Sounds like someone's using.
What?
Oh,
yeah, Ralph, you're using Howard.
That is the sound of someone using.
You've been using for 20 years, dickhead.
Hey, when are you going to kick your habit?
Yeah.
Never.
All right, Ralph.
Don't try a battle of wits, Ralph. You're unarmed.
I know how Scott's feeling because I turned 40 and I'm feeling this way. Scott is waiting someday for the sweet release of death. and just like get me off the earth. It's spinning too fast.
Yeah,
I don't give a fuck about any of you.
Yeah, I was born to the wrong
You got
parents.
slapped a yarmulke.
I did.
Hello?
What does that mean? She thinks I look very Jewish.
Yeah, I do.
Oh.
I was fucking a model in college. The entire Boston University hated me because everybody wanted this woman. One night, I don't know, I did Quaaludes. I got fucking horny. I banged her. And this is not the type of chick you want to brag about. Like, nobody was banging this chick. Nobody was banging her. Loveliest girl in the world, sweetest girl in the world. I banged her. I went, oh my God. And I had to walk her back to her dorm. And I prayed to Jesus that no one would see me walking this girl back to the dorm. And no one would find none of our group of friends. And as soon as I got her back, I snuck her in because she hung out with a lot of the girls I knew and everything. I never talked to her again. I never acknowledged her. I pretended the thing never happened. And believe me, I'm no homo. Believe me, as soon as he had me touch it, I knew it was wrong. And I stopped immediately.
That doesn't mean you didn't like it.
There was nothing wrong with it.
So when you make love to a guy like that and you're staring into his eyes, you already have to have an orgasm just from that, right? Because he's so good looking.
You know, I think you sound like you're gay or something.
Yeah, what's going on?
Well, I'm trying to talk. Wait a second.
Staring in
I'm
your
trying to
eyes,
wait a second.
saying, I am
trying to have girl talk with you here.
But Howard, I always kind of thought you were like hetero, but like you seem obsessed with this.
Welcome, everybody, to another exciting episode of, quite frankly, a Howard Stern podcast featuring myself as your host, Fillmore, a.k.a. Fillmore Fingers, a.k.a. Jim Fix. And with me, of course, is my co-host with the most, Sam.
My chef.
Well, Sam and I have looked through the archives, and every now and then we want to do these deep dives and go back into the annals of history, or the annals of history, the way Howard Stern show goes these days.
So and cavernous.
Do walkthroughs or visual walkthroughs of stuff in the past that we think has either been underseen or just underexposed, and we think it's way funnier in retrospect, being such a piece of shit than when it was actually released. Sam?
I haven't seen this in so long. I barely remember anything about it, so I'm super excited.
So today we're doing the Channel 9 roast from, I think it's WWOR, Channel 9.
I'm not positive.
I'm pretty sure. Anyway, this was it says it's from 1992, but those shows ran from 90 to 92. So as to when it was released, I couldn't tell you. But either way, the era fits, because if you'll just see the fashion and stuff. But the thing that's the oddest thing that I found before I even get started, because I didn't go through the whole thing. I edited out all the commercials so you guys get the full effect without having to look at Stairmaster shit or infomercials. But someone posted on YouTube that oh no, this is Howard like trying to beat the curve, because Comedy Central started airing the Comedy Central roasts in late 90s, 98 or so.
Yeah, I remember when they started doing that.
Okay, so they were doing like a mock-up or a take on the roast, the Friars Club roasts, which were never televised. The only one they did, I think, originally was let's see, Drew Carey had one. I think it might have been Drew Carey, and that was televised for the Friars Club. But if you look at the video, it's so obvious that he's actually making it's a parody of the old Dean Martin roasts, which ended in 1985. So he's already 7 years behind, because they're all wearing tuxedos, and there's a dais. There's two of them, actually. And so once again, Wiggy's way behind the curve. So
or he's making a parody.
Yeah, but
of
7 years after the fact, the last time something was televised, because the Dean Martin ones ran from the early 70s to about 84, 85. And then, something else.
They always made those Martin roasts. Like they used to late at night have those infomercials to sell them on a loop. They made them look so amazing. Even as a kid, I was like, I really want to buy that.
Yeah. Well, I
probably would have been absolute shit, but I don't know.
Well, I downloaded about when they started getting on YouTube. I ripped them all, and what the first one they give you is the best of the roasts, and it's a good thing because if you actually listen to the whole roast, most of them would be really awful. But because they were all scripted, like the whole thing was scripted from start to finish, except for Jonathan Winters and Don Rickles. They were allowed to go in there and do anything. So when they're also they're empty studios. There's no one in the audience. They cut away and you see all these people. That was canned footage.
That's crazy.
Yep, and even so, because even at some points they cut away to someone who, when they go up, they're wearing a tux, but when they cut away to them, they're wearing like a leisure suit.
Fine editing.
I mean, there's still some amazing moments, but again, it's from those people who I just mentioned. I'll never forget that one for the Bob Hope roast, and what's Rickles' line? He goes, "It takes a lot of many years to become a great comedian," and Dean just ad-libs, "It sure does, and you ain't reached that year yet." So there's a huge applause break, and then all of a sudden, right out of nowhere, Rickles goes, "Thank you, Jerry." And then just destroys the room. And so that's something you couldn't write. You had to get Rickles to do something like that. Either way, we want you guys to enjoy this one, and we'll get on with it. And it's going to be a long slog, but stick with it. If it's too long, we'll make it into 2 parts, but I think we're going to try to make it one way through. So, are you ready to go, Sam?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. Viewer discretion.
Good evening, and welcome to the Howard Stern.
Oh, my God. Freeze.
The chandelier.
So Reddy looks like
bad
a
fonts.
bat. Yeah, Reddy looks like we're being invited to an occult dinner party.
There's a seance going on. Okay, now just take a look here. You've got, I'm going to use the mouse just to cut in a little bit. Okay, so there's two tables, the same way those traditional roasts used to be, and even the actual Friars Club. I've seen pictures of the old in the club and what it would look like similar. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 tables, maybe a couple more in behind, and this is clearly some little studio, whatever they decided to put it, and everybody's sort of there to make it look like it's really happening, like it's a place. But what's the impetus for putting this out? Just content?
I guess they had to do stuff for that Channel 9 show and come up with ideas. So this must have been one of the writers' room's ideas, I'm assuming. I don't know. Let's roast Howard.
Yeah.
Starring Richard Simmons.
Oh my God.
Did you see the little cut of citrus on the...
He's so fruity that he has a piece of fruit stuck in his hair. As if you didn't know he was gay, he has a literal piece of fruit stuck in his hair.
Oh God. I just noticed that. Oh, incidentally, folks, we have not gone through this. I've only gone through just like maybe a minute or 2 of everything just to make sure that all the commercials were gone. But yeah, we're seeing this for the first time, as hopefully you are. There's some orange.
That house pet Elizabeth Baxter, Sandra Bernhardt,
wow,
Cooper, Kenny Youngman, Richard Lewis, and Jamie Lee Curtis.
Now that was from when they were filming Anything But Love, which was going, I think it did about 4 seasons, and so Richard Lewis didn't need to have anything to do with Wiggy, but he probably taped something.
Geraldo Rivera always looks like a shyster to me, no matter what.
You think he's always selling like a used Cavalier?
Just always.
Yeah. So look at that. Okay, so you got Geraldo, you got Maury Povich, but they're wearing stuff. It looks like they're basically couldn't be bothered to get off their own fucking set. So they all filmed stuff, but they weren't actually there.
Right.
This is how important your roast is.
Maury Povich, Larry King, Steve Rossi, Fred the Elephant Boy, Kenneth Keith Callenbach, a rare appearance by wife Allison Stern.
Wow, she looks cute.
Wow.
Ray Stern, and much, much more. And now, let's meet the star of our show, the man of the hour.
Oh my God. Please go back. Oh, Allison looks so cute.
She looks really
Robin, I don't know what to make of Robin.
Hold on, let's play
Third
that.
and much more. And now, let's meet the start of our show, the man of the...
Okay.
Wow. Okay.
Robin, she's rocking the short hair at that point. Not a bad, not a great look for her, obviously, but she looks pained to be there. This looks like that fake. They must have filmed for ages to get the thing looking like they wanted, and she still looks like she's got a gun pointed to her head.
Robin also, during, I think, especially 80s, 90s, didn't really know what her look was. So you always see the, like, it just doesn't seem like something she embodies, these sort of outfits and makeup that she was trying during the time. I think the most consistent and best one was probably the dreadlock look where they were like piled on her head. And then it seemed she kind of had it down. But up until that point, I mean, geez.
She was all over the place and probably putting like wigs on at some point. But yeah, this is not a good look.
He's tall,
poor Henny.
Polly's tall and dark.
She's so cute, Allison. I would take her over Beth any day. I seriously am not even joking. I don't find Beth attractive at all, and I find Allison cutesy.
Right. Well, at that point, absolutely. And she would have been probably close to late 30s. Or near late 30s, because they're about the same age. So, yeah, she looks adorable, and it doesn't look like she's had a lot of work done.
Stern!
Yes, of course, because during a roast, you always see the roaster getting carried in on a fucking, like a what do you call those things? Emperor's chair.
Oh.
And in case you didn't know how hetero he was, look at that.
This is... You know what's so funny is this is not the first. So he does this with more than one public appearance where he's getting carried in like King Farouk with a bevy of women. You know, it's like a Cecil B. DeMille movie or something.
Jesus Christ. And
but he looks like a fruitcake no matter what. I mean, look at this.
I'll break my own vow and call the name Fruitcake.
He's a fruity cake topper. Look at him.
He's got that Burger King crown on.
Oh, God.
Thank you so much.
He's already made a mistake because the roast is supposed to be way more low-key. Everybody's supposed to look mostly the same. Everybody's got a tux, or the women got evening gowns on and stuff, and you're already seated. Or you come back in, you sit your ass down, and boom. No, he's got to be carried in.
Thank you. Thank you.
Of course.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
And wasting fucking time. You know, this is you're recording something for your fucking listeners and your viewers, whatever, and this should all be cut out. There's no reason for any of this shit, except you have nothing left. You got to pad the time.
And look at poor Allison. Like, I'm gonna get carried in, like a wedding cake, fruitcake topper with these bikini women, and here's my wife. I mean, how awkward.
Yeah.
Thank you.
She's an afterthought. She's right next to them, too.
Oh, the sunglasses are covering the crown.
Now let's take a look at an intimate portrait of Howard as seen by his loving parents, but starting with highlights of his career.
We're here because we all have a purpose in being here. And that purpose is to say, the FCC!
All right, Grandpa, get out of here.
Jeez,
hold on to that wig.
I love the PJs. Well, the idea, like, I get it. You need spectacle. Okay, at that time or any other time, and you need to make a noise in show business. You have to do something other people aren't doing. I get it, but some of it's so ill-advised.
I was very proud of what Howard was doing. This was his dream to be doing this.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, this man has a full head of curly hair at almost 70. Look at his
Grandpa Saul had all the he won the DNA jackpot. Poor Ben. But
He's
Ben
a
looks
Jewish
fine.
Corrado soprano.
Well, Ben looks fine, but at least it looks natural. Christ, it doesn't look like he
of
shaved his head for the purposes of the show. One thing I did notice, because I had to edit some of this, as I said before, we talked years ago. We still do. We have a couple gifs about Wiggy's crazy eyes. But if you look at this, hopefully the resolution's good enough that when we render it, you'll see it. Ray also has a bit of crazy eyes going in this little clip. It's kind of amazing.
And I'm delighted that he achieved his dream. Despite what he might say now, you know. He always wanted to do this. Am I right?
Exactly. I don't care about NBC's life.
Okay, there you go. Now, this also, by the way, wouldn't be part of a fucking roast. You start in with jokes, but why are we doing this? It's a cross between This Is Your Life and a roast? What's the point of this?
We have to jerk off his ego. I don't know. Show him in some Danny Tanner sweaters and hairdos. This is so weird.
For a job. I very badly
Oh, there it goes. It changes. His hair grows miraculously. I've never seen anything quite like it. And it's also framed differently. So, you know, when you cut your hair, it doesn't make the part go more forward. So my hair is always sitting on top of my head in its hairline. My hairline doesn't change when I get a haircut.
Well, so you're content. Let's go with this, because we're probably never going to do a hair show devoted to his fucking hair. You think at this point it's all wigs, or you think whatever hair he's got, you're floofing it in such a way that you can't tell?
It's whatever I'm looking at right now, this is a wig or some sort of hair piece on some sort of hair. Because like I said, when you get a haircut, you can change the shape of the cut of your hair, but you can't change your hairline. I'm sorry. No. That's just not how it works.
Right.
New York radio.
I'm thrilled to be going to FM radio.
Here we go. What happened to you? It's just like,
it's further down in front. Oh, man.
Looks like...
And Charlie was very creative. So all he did is take this creativity into radio and whatever other medium, and it's shown through.
Did you encourage Howard's?
This is creativity. He's literally fondling and beating up a dummy, and he's losing almost. He seems to be struggling.
He's also, it looks like an outtake from the Little Rascals if they colorized it. But the other thing is the music. Do you hear it? It's this very like soulful kind of family idyllic life.
Marionette shows.
Dirty marionette shows. Who told you that?
If he had any dirty marionette shows, it wasn't when we were around. I mean, we saw all his shows.
He liked the Jerry Mahoney. That was a
dummy.
A dummy.
So is your son. I never bought that narrative. The guy was like 8 years old or 9 years old and doing like dirty shows with the puppets. And every single person he grew up with on the History of Howard Stern says we never saw any of that shit.
Well, they also can't agree on a narrative for how he came to be in his life. They're saying, so this is what happened. They're like, I don't remember that. Oh, this is a great opening. Your parents are contesting your childhood narrative that you came up with.
I wanted to read, we stopped it for a little bit there, just to read from the Paul D. Colford book about the show, because there's not a lot. There's only about 4 pages, but it is kind of telling what they say. I'm going to read a little bit, if you don't mind. Apparently, this is from WWR-TV. Bob Woodruff was the vice president for program development there, and in 1990 is when it started. The budget was about $100,000 a week, and Howard only got about 10% of that, and the rest had to go for all the staff salaries and the cost of the show. So that's why it's as low budget as it is. Now, $100,000 $1990, okay, but it's still not what network, or even some cable shows were getting for doing them. So anyway, there was a lot of problems with this show. It says, ratings-wise, the show had phenomenal success, recalled Bob Woodruff, who served as executive producer. In the New York area, Howard often doubled the ratings of NBC's Saturday Night Live during the half hour they overlapped. He also outdrew SNL among commercially valued segments of the audience, such as men 18 to 34 and women 18 to 49. However, instead of converting these impressive numbers into commensurate commercial rates of $18,000 to $20,000 per 30-second spot, WWOR was able to charge advertisers only half that sum because many sponsors were afraid to associate with Howard, which was pretty common throughout his career. A lot of sponsors just wouldn't touch him. So later on, it says, okay, we at WWOR wanted to push the envelope, but we didn't want to kill ourselves doing it, Woodruff said in 1995, explaining why stirrups and a simulated birth were not allowed. He's talking about the Virgin Mary Kong. The Baby Jesus Christmas show that was released in April. As someone who doesn't like to follow the norm, I love the show, Woodruff added, but there was a limit to how far it could go. He said, it was hard to take the show routinely taped about 90 minutes of material in order to have an hour that would be acceptable to the WWOR lawyer and make it through the editing process. It was hard to argue with Howard, Woodruff remembered. Often I had to take the phone from my ear. It was like working with a 6-year-old when we wanted to take things out of the show. He'd say, "You don't know a fucking thing. I'm the creative guy. I'm the guy who's doing it." He wasn't mean. He just wanted it his way. The grief factor in dealing with Howard was overwhelming. Between our lawyer, general manager, and me, we would spend half our week dealing with Howard's problems. So you can imagine why the show didn't fucking last that long.
He's insufferable. Now, listen, I understand that if you want to push limits, but you also have to understand your audience and the channel that you're on. Mm-hmm. You're not on HBO. You're not on pay-per-view. You're on Channel 9. So, sorry, you're not going to be able to show the Virgin Mary's vagina with baby Jesus crowning. I mean, come on.
So it continues, and there's only a little bit more to read. In addition, Woodruff and the other executives had to endure abuse from Howard during his radio show. "We work for idiots," Howard said in one tirade. "They're really pathetic over there." Like, this is going to endear you to your fucking bosses, basically. So it says, however, lacking a strong signal from WWR that it planned to renew the program, a number of affiliates pulled out in order to make other arrangements in time for the fall 1992 season. This left 53 stations covering about half the country. Because the program was producing insufficient revenues to offset the Stern-induced headaches, WWOR announced in July of 1992 that it was pulling the plug. "We made this business decision even though Howard Stern's show had high ratings, but because of the cost of the show exceeded the revenue." On the same day, Howard's agent, Don Buchwald, put his own spin on the cancellation. Howard had quit in order to make movies. Yeah, can you imagine?
You know what, too, is funny when you're reading this is Ben Stern always gave him business advice, and Howard always prided himself on the fact that his dad always showed up for work, never missed a day, was loyal, and he thought that was admirable. And then here you have this, and Howard's the opposite. He is given the opportunity, and then when he gets the opportunity, it's like you didn't realize you invited the devil into your house. You know what I mean? You're not aware that this guy's going to wreak havoc all over your network, cause all these issues and problems. He's so grateful for the opportunity, and then the second you present it with him, he's a nightmare to deal with. They found this everywhere he went.
Yeah, later on, absolutely, would be repeated again and again. Now, especially with negotiations. Now, Bob D., I know you're going to be listening to this. You should maybe write some notes where this is concerned as well, because the idea is, like, if you've got a network, well, even if it's a cable show or like a local show, that they're giving you money. You're not out of pocket. They're paying you to do it, put out a product. You have to learn within the parameters of what's acceptable, what they deem is going to be entertainment. So unless you're putting up the money and it's your show, you have to abide by these rules. For someone to take the money and then complain and bitch and moan that you're not doing it the way you want it because you're going outside the confines of what they consider acceptable broadcasting, that's on you. So his parents, I could see Ben, even just looking in this picture, he was probably thinking, "You're going to fuck it up, you fucking idiot." Because he's probably hearing Howard bitch off the air too when he sees them. So privately. So.
And two, you want to keep the sponsors who are there.
Yes.
You want to keep the sponsors. You want to get more sponsors. They're telling you, if you want this to survive, you're going to need more sponsors or keep the ones you have. The ratings aren't going to matter. But he's so stupid. He's throwing a hissy fit over creativity, over stupid nonsense.
Right. Yeah, it's irritating. So we'll keep going.
He could do
ventriloquism.
Ventriloquism with it.
Why did you insist on raising Howard in a black neighborhood?
Well, I didn't choose to raise Howard in a black neighborhood. This occurred. But of course, things changed.
So they're showing footage from some black neighborhood in New York, ostensibly from what looks like 1940s or so or earlier.
This is outrageous. He might as well. You might as well have him on some farmhouse picking cotton, the way he's making his childhood seem. Are you fucking kidding me right now with this? This is ridiculous.
You just need some Lead Belly in the soundtrack.
I mean, I can't with
I know
this whole narrative.
It's awful.
Well, there was one boy out.
Oh my God! Tap dancing? We're doing step and fetch it clips? Are you fucking kidding me?
Mr. Bojangles. Where's the shoe shine kid?
Howard. Yeah, he was right immersed with this. Could you imagine that fool tap dancing amongst these people?
Hold on, let me put that back.
This occurred. But of course, things changed to the point where he was looked upon as the odd kid out. Well, there was one boy, Alan. I think he.
Guys, this wasn't 1950, like when they used to do this shit. This is 1992.
Well, this is clearly done for a joke, but.
And they played quite a bit of chess together.
Oh my God.
He's got to make sure he's got to throw in something to make like African Americans look like make it look like he was being chased by the Riffs and the Warriors.
Not to my knowledge.
We were never.
How can Robin laugh at this?
Hold on. Let's go back a bit.
Never privy to that. Never saw him do it. Never even smelled it. Although I was away at work, but.
He exaggerates a lot. He really exaggerates a lot. I don't know whether he thinks that's a badge of honor.
When did you first...
Lying is a badge of honor. That's the nicest way your mother just could call you a liar.
Basically, because the question was about, you ever hear about him masturbating and the way he talks about so much of he was doing it all the time, and they're just saying...
Notice Howard was a sexual being.
We shared everything right down the line, even VD.
That's disturbing. I didn't share anything with my fucking parents because he's talking about. The interviewer is very barely audible. Actually, he's so low in the mix. He's asking like, did you shared everything with him?
And didn't she say even VD?
Mm-hmm. I don't know if they shared VD or the discussion of VD is I'm sure what she meant, but for fuck's sake.
And his mom also has his wedding teeth. Like when Howard got married, he had those. Those are his wedding teeth set.
The original chompers. Yeah. Those.
But it turned out fine.
Is it true that he almost drowned while you both stood by and watched?
They tried to.
I don't recall that incident. We never had the chance to even stand by.
Howard exaggerates, you know that, right? Everybody knows that.
Do you ever cry when you think about Howard's incredible success?
Cry? No, I don't cry. I'm very happy about it. I enjoy it, I think, almost as much as he does. And what's to cry about?
Oh, yeah, go ahead, Sam. What do you have to say about that?
To me, Ben seems very uncomfortable. I'm watching Ray talk, but they both... It feels like they know that this is based on an entire... When they keep saying, he exaggerates. Everyone knows everyone knows he exaggerates. No, we didn't. I mean, the way that they're making his life sound, he was chased by blacks every day and beaten to death with an inch of his life every day of his life.
Right, with hockey sticks.
You know, I think that Ben almost looks a little perturbed. Like, he looks disgusted with this situation. Like, why are you asking me things that aren't true?
I think Ben's embarrassed and he's begrudgingly on camera, and he would just do it because, you know, they'll do anything for their fucking Prince Charming, but or little Lord Fauntleroy, as it were. But Ray doesn't. She's never had a problem getting on camera. She's never had a problem calling in and whatever. And Ben does it too, but I think he does it begrudgingly. And Ray's more kind of, she's showier that way. She definitely doesn't have any problems with it.
Yeah, she likes the success. I think she enjoys the fruits of his success, I should say. But I do think it bothers her that he lies.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, he was so poor. We just saw him go down a water slide in a swimming pool, people.
Right.
What is this, a documentary? Oh, man.
This is a roast?
Yeah. Like, what's the point of this? It's again, you're crossing everything. You're trying to make it some human interest thing, and then he can't even shut up during that. You can hear him just in the background.
And look at his hair here. Wait, did you see? Oh my! Forget it. I was gonna say his hairline as a kid is farther back than it is now, but now I'm seeing him get a diaper put on him.
Terrible.
It was.
Stay tuned for more of the Howard Stern roast.
The devil.
Please, please, honey, I want to see that for my roast. For my roast. Tip.
Howard, they told me to be funny and dirty.
Poor Joan. Rest in peace. I know a lot of people weren't fans, but I like Joan.
I love Joan.
Did you ever get to see her live? It would have been. I don't know how often she was touring later in life, but.
Yeah,
No.
I never did. I wish I would have.
Yeah.
And mean, and I can't be because I love you so much. I'm leaving that to everybody else. So I'm just going to say, I'm glad you're here. I'm glad you're here to stay, and I'm glad we're friends.
Next week, watch The Howard Stern Show at a special time, Friday night at midnight.
So this was late shit. This is the kind of stuff like Mad TV went on, I think roughly the same time, late when it finally started, 11:30. Probably, I think they took away a chunk of Saturday Night Live's ratings. So he was even later. Okay, Friday, not Saturday, but Friday night. You're not going to get much of an audience at that time, except for
especially people who were attracted to Howard Friday night at midnight. They were probably out getting drunk. I mean,
Yeah,
you know what
absolutely.
I'm saying? They weren't in watching this.
No.
Now, one of Howard's oldest and dearest friends. Exercise guru.
This looks comfortable. Women on the floor.
Yeah.
Simmons.
Oh, Mr. Simmons, yes.
So far I've counted about 5 tables. 1, 2, and 1 in just here, like out of focus. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, maybe 7 tables. So this is a tiny room. Yeah.
And let's think about this. So who do you think I'm dying to know if Ralph designed the set. But I'm dying to know. But even if he did or he didn't, look at how busy this is. So the thing about roasts that I think back in the day kind of helped the stars be the focus is you just had that one table of a panel of people. Kind of the color scheme was consistent. Look at this. It looks like an Easter funeral.
Right.
It's terrible.
Right. So
it really looks like an in memoriam Easter. It's
Not
awful.
Not only that, but the focus was on the dais and the comedians or actors, as it were, and then the roaster. But because he's in the audience, and first of all, you see him from behind here, like, does anybody want that shot? He should be right here on the over to the right, or his left, stage left, and right next to the person on the dais. But he's where he's blocking things, actually. I'm sure that was intentional. I'm sure he wanted to be so hyper-focused on this.
His placement is always up to his judgment. No one's telling him where to go. So, of course, he put it in the worst spot possible, and nobody can see him, which is weird.
But you're not supposed to see the audience. And even though those, like we just mentioned before, the Dean Martin roast, there was no audience. But when they did cut to them, it was you saw the audience. You didn't see any of the entertainers. So there was a delineation. Here, it's all one shot because they just don't have the fucking know-how, this camera, whoever's filming it. So Richard Simmons, this was the big joke. He came out as a man, like as a really...
And then you're going to have the audience pan. Here's the other part that's weird, is you're going to have, if you want his reaction, you're going to have 2 different cameras. You're going to have a camera angle facing him. So that will be more production costs because you're going to have a completely 2 different cameras. One looking at the dais and one looking at his reaction. How stupid.
But this is literally, what I can tell so far, it's a 2-camera shoot. There's one for the wide shot. And they're using the same camera. They have only one camera at any given time, and they're just editing clips together. But the time it takes for him to come out.
That's very nice. Now you look like a man for once. Look at you. Look at this guy. He's wearing a tuxedo. It was the first time I didn't see you with exercise shorts, and your sack isn't hanging out.
Okay, so this is aggressive, oddly aggressive.
Hi, how are you doing?
Richard, did you see that tape of my parents?
And Howard won't shut the fuck up. And he's standing up to get in the way of the camera.
It was locked in a house. Richard, let's get it on. Let's go.
Go ahead.
I'm oddly uncomfortable in a way that I haven't been in a long time.
Doesn't it make you feel like you're in a really bad rehearsal of a roast?
I'm having secondhand embarrassment.
You're embarrassed for them?
Yes, I'm embarrassed for everyone in that room. I'm having such bad secondhand embarrassment, Fillmore. It's making me very sweaty and uncomfortable.
Well, you got to feel bad for the people.
So awkward.
You got to feel bad for the people sitting in the tables, the extras or whatever, being there to supposedly force applause and out of themselves, and there's nothing. No one's really laughing. That's the other thing. Do you hear?
Down.
Right.
Something nice about me.
Something to say, Richard?
Say something nice about me.
How are you doing?
Hey, Richard, look at this. Every one of these guys on the dais has a different...
It's dead air. I have to edit out dead air of our show. That's why we don't do it live, because sometimes there's some pauses and sometimes there's some edits that need to be made for our purposes. But here, they're airing every bit. My point is, this is not a satire of a roast. If this is supposed to be a roast, be a roast. If it's not a roast, say it's the making of the Howard Stern roast or something. But this is retarded.
He's also... I just like to point out, this is when he was friends with Dice. So you could see he's got the Dice glasses on. So this is him taking a little piece of Dice fashion and trying to make himself look cool.
But let's also look here. Okay, one picture, and him there. He's made sure he's the focus no matter what. Typically at a roast, it is a little underplayed. So
Richard just came out and he's already the camera can't follow anything. They don't even know where to look. Nobody knows what to shoot. And he's running around the room like, I don't even know.
Gaylord.
Penny, what do you do? Buy the 3 strands? Waving goodbye. I tell you, Pat, who dyes your hair?
Ginger ale.
Ginger ale does that. Because look at Steve Rossi. He's got 5-tone hair.
Oh, my God. Sit down.
So there you go. So this is just one big circle jerk to make sure Howard knows he's the fucking king. And he, I'm sure, made sure all of this was his idea. There's no one designs a roast like this.
Look at the beak. That side profile. Holy.
It was that character on the Muppets with the blue fur and the one
Beaker.
No, not Beaker. The one that used to God, I can't remember his name. It was he was like a hawk, but a blue hawk.
Oh, right.
I forget his name. It wasn't a major character. It wasn't one of the main.
I know exactly. I can picture him right in my head, and I can't think of the name. Sorry, I'm not on my off.
When I put the video up, I'll provide a picture and get the name out.
Look at your hair. Stand up and show people. Who does
it? Who cares about anyone's hair? Why is this funny?
Look at that. It's like a different color from the top.
Fucking wasted time.
Strictly for television.
Oh, thank you, Richard. Richard, go ahead.
I've been doing your radio show for about 3.5 years.
3.5 years, that's right.
So you're getting roasted. You're standing up next to the roaster who's supposed to be doing the roasting. You can't even let him get that fucking time without being in front of the camera. He's that much of a whore for the camera.
Also, too, this could have been a little bit funny because I actually am enjoying Richard as a man, that concept. Well, not that he's not a man. Sorry, I said that wrong. I meant Richard as, an accountant-looking man, not, hello. Oh, just
not sweating with the oldies, Richard.
Yeah. So this could have been funny, but he's stomping all over it.
Yeah.
You gonna talk like a woman?
And, you know, in the 3.5 years that...
Aren't you gonna talk like a woman?
In the 3.5
And he's bullying him like Kermit the Frog.
Yeah.
Aren't you going to talk like a woman? What?
Well, also, look at this. Okay, so he's naturally tall, so he's hovering over him anyway, but he's got to have his arm around him. He's got these papers in his hand for some fucking reason. I don't know why. And it's meant for intimidation. It's meant to like, hey, fuck you. What are you going to do to me? You know what I mean?
You made fun of my hair, and you made fun of the way I talked.
That's right.
You made fun of the way I dressed.
That's right.
And I'm going to change.
You're going to change?
Yeah. Now, see,
all right.
this is how I looked for all these years before you were an influence on me.
That's right. That's how you look. That's the old Richard Simmons.
That's it, yeah.
And now you look different. This is your new look.
Yeah, and the reason I came today was to thank you for, well, just for making me a man.
Right. You look a lot better this way. I like you better this way.
Okay, go ahead.
This is actually a good, subtle way to show what a jerk off Howard is. You know what I mean? Like Richard coming on here saying, "You bullied me so bad. Look at it. Now I'm just how you wanted." And it's actually making him ironically look really bad.
Well, the thing is, the one thing, Week has always been one-dimensional with anything he's ever gone for when it comes to comedy. The joke of Richard coming out and dressing up like some kind of like manlier than he normally does, even though he looks like he just stepped out of a fucking gay club with Freddie Mercury, after doing their taxes. It's done. Once you see the look, where's the rest of the laughs coming from? It's like when Wiggy would go on to Letterman in drag. Who cares? Like once you've done it, where's the joke?
I guess if he had material, it would have been great, but we wouldn't know because we have this rock and roll Big Bird stomping all over the bit.
Yeah.
It's very good. Very nice. You know something, Richard? You've been mad at me for years. You really have.
No, I'm not mad at you. I finally figured out what you wanted to tell me.
What is that?
You know, to change my image and to...
Right, you look a lot better. I think you sound a lot better like this. I know this is very difficult. I know there's a woman straining to get out.
No, you see, there was a man always inside this aerobic body.
I know. But let me just say something to you.
Yeah.
First of all, by the way, I want to say hi to Richard Pryor sitting in our audience, guy who's been very sick. He's sitting out there.
He's here.
All right.
Okay, so this is another running bit that he would do again and again. When we did that infomercial, the mock infomercial, he had a skeleton in one of the seats as if to say, okay, this is, how long this person's been waiting for blah, blah. And so this hack joke he's been using for years and will use for years. And Richard Pryor, who's a legend, but now like an MS and clearly like fucked up. And in 1992, he was not in good shape. And what's the joke? He's not dead.
Here's the joke. He's almost dead and he looks terrible. Here's a skeleton. We're going to make a joke about a fat person. So I'm going to put him on a seesaw, show you how heavy my book is, and it's going to launch the fat guy into the air. I mean, these are such easy popsicle stick jokes.
Yeah,
I mean,
it's sophomoric bullshit.
Awful. This is awful. Yeah. It's going to be terrible somewhere. I hate you right now.
Did I recommend this one or was it you?
This was not me, but I'm enjoying this.
Okay.
Don't be offended by that, will you? Now let me say something. If that photographer would move away from my monitor, I could maybe talk to you. Richard, I want to say something. I'm very honored that you'd come to my roast. I really do appreciate that. Let me say something now. Let me say something.
I want to kill him.
What?
I want to kill him. What? I can't deal with him. I really can't. He's ruining my day right now. I can't.
And everybody watching, I suppose.
Don't kiss me. Now listen, Richard. You know that although I'm known as a bit of a load, I must let you know I also do a lot of charity work throughout the year, and I know you know about this.
Yes, I know it.
Here to tell you about my favorite charity is Doug Beatty. Doug, here comes Doug. Thank you, Doug.
I knew about Doug Beatty for only one reason. They're one of I think the third Kinnison album. He figures heavily in it, and they've got his name. And he's just this kid in a wheelchair, who's supposedly got MS. I don't know.
Ladies and gentlemen,
but
come over here, Richard. You want to see this?
I mean, they really brought him out because he needed a midget.
Richard doesn't think that I do anything charitable, Doug. But you tell him about some of my work. Come here, Richard. Come on. Meet Doug.
Oh, so he can exploit a poor. This is Howard's version of charity. exploiting disabled people and calling
Yeah.
himself charitable. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So
what a
again,
nice guy.
So what's the okay? So we're supposed to laugh at the physical infirmity that the guy has, but where was this supposed to be funny?
Good work during the year. Tell him, Doug.
Howard, you're the best. Nobody does as much charity work as you do. I mean, you're the man.
Thank you. Do you want to give a speech about that?
Yeah.
All right.
You know, as you know, Howard is here, alive and well, enjoying his tribute. It is, however, no secret.
So is it a tribute or a roast?
Hold on. Yeah, well, that's the other thing. That's a testimonial. What's SPS? Short person syndrome? Small person syndrome?
Right now, I want to say SOS.
A disease called small penis syndrome.
Okay.
That's right.
That's the
Small
joke.
penis syndrome.
Hey, if you didn't get that, everybody, it's another cock mention that you can't say cock, even though it's a cable show. But it's got to go gay, and it's got to go incredibly unfunny right away.
Or SPS, as it's referred to, is an embarrassing condition that plagues far too many adult males. Howard has raised over $1,500 to fight this dreaded affliction.
Now, okay, this is, to me, if you want an analogy, guys, this is a violin with one fucking string, and that's what Howard's been playing all those years. Small purse, small penis, get the retard in, get the, he has such a bad batting average, even back in the day. I don't know how he really survived. I don't know how he made, because he was free, I guess, on the radio. People just fucking loved the other stuff, and they put up with everything else. But this would not have entertained me.
Let's have the Lollipop Guild guy on in a wheelchair and talking about small penises. Yay! I mean, this is terrible. What's the joke here? You're not okay. So you're not charitable, and we get to harp on the small penis bit again. We're going on 40 years of a joke hammered into the ground.
And as I said, this was a Kinnison bit when he had Doug Beatty on stage at this concert in '89, I suppose, or '90, and released the album. Leader of the Band was the album. That was my first Kinnison album. What a mistake, because it really wasn't that good. And he comes on to say, well, fuck Jerry. Jerry Lewis. He never did anything for me. I'm still waiting on a check. And it wasn't funny. Like, Kinnison wasn't funny using it, and Howard's not funny. You think he would have known better, but no, he doesn't, because he doesn't understand
Sure,
comedy.
I have muscular dystrophy, and I'm no stranger to problems. But I'd rather be trapped in this steel cage for the rest of my life and have it be hung like a friggin' pimple like Howard.
All right. Thank you, Doug. By the way, Richard, much like you, Doug puts out exercise videos. This is his new video. Climbing into your wheelchair while sweating to the classics, Richard. And Doug...
We've shipped over 1 million copies already.
You shipped 1 million copies?
1 million copies already.
Climbing into your wheelchair while sweating to the oldies. Doug, give us a sample of what you do on that. Show us
Sure,
how you do
Howard,
it.
I'd love to.
Would you give us a...
No problem.
All right, show it. I don't know how to do
Howard,
this. Yeah.
Do I have to stay here?
Yes, Richard, you do. This is your new manly image. Go ahead.
Yeah, because he's dying of secondhand embarrassment. You're not only not charitable, you're exploiting this poor guy, and
You've got these hostages in the audience there to pad out, to make it look like it's happening. It's not happening, and it's really incredibly unfunny. Every note is wrong. Everything sounds and looks like a bad attempt at something you're not quite sure of what you're doing. It's like a sketch. It's like a painter releasing a sketch saying that's the finished product, and it's crap. I mean,
are the girls in bikinis sitting on the floor still sitting on a cold set floor right now? I mean, how bad is this?
Yeah.
Home, you listen to this music, and you climb from one wheelchair to the other.
Another.
Go ahead.
This is the best form of aerobic exercise known to man.
Go ahead. Here we go.
Okay, so
locked.
Get ready to laugh, folks, because this will be funny.
I know what to do. Go ahead. Here we are.
You bend and you stretch.
You bend and stretch. Yes.
This is so sad.
Lord.
Go over here.
All right. There you go. You nervous? Now go ahead. Go ahead. This is good. And go ahead.
I'm so uncomfortable.
That's it.
Again, what's the conceit, guys? It's I'm not talking as a social justice warrior bullshit. I'm talking as when I was 17 years old. That's when this was released. I'm supposed to watch this when I'm 17 and laugh. But at that point, I've already listened to amazing comics that have been on his show and are going to do his show even during these years. But he doesn't draw anything from it. He doesn't have a fucking comedic bone in his body. Like,
but
you'd think.
Even back then, people could make fun of, some sort of mental retardation or physical ailments that might be construed as offensive today, but they did it, some of them in ways that were funny. This isn't funny.
Right.
I would even know back then that this is just terribly, awfully unfunny and wrong.
Yeah.
Thank you.
There's no redeeming quality about any of this.
I'll sweat into the classics.
Richard, it's all over. Forget about it.
Richard, that was
It's
very
all
beautiful.
over for you.
We'll be back with more.
And it's like when he doesn't, when the unfunny bit doesn't work, he hammers it again as if you didn't hear it. Like, okay, guys, remember, this is what you were supposed to laugh at. And I just
Roast of our stupid guest of honor. Also, Richard Simmons proves he really is a man with Sandra Bernhardt.
Hello, I prefer not to give my
Okay.
name because I am thoroughly embarrassed to be a part of this awful program. That's why I have this black square over my face now. Howard.
Actually, I have a newfound respect for Geraldo.
yeah. Not only could he not take time away, but he barely took time away from leaving his set and doing his own show, which was actually quite popular. And he decided, you know what? Let's cover my face. Brilliant.
As some of you may know, I've written a book. My book is incredibly successful due to my many accomplishments like making mad, passionate love to tons of beautiful Hollywood starlets. Now, in my book, Geraldo, I mean, Mr. X, I omitted the most shocking revelation. I also, I'm sorry to say, made love to this creature. I'm sorry to say, made love to this creature. This unfortunate slug, this freak of nature, this carnival reject, this wretched soul.
Why is this funny?
You think that I will sleep with anyone, but that's absolutely not true. Even I drove on. I mean, Mr. X.
This is the other thing Howard doesn't quite get. For him, it's like if it's not visual, it ain't funny. And the problem is it's visual and it's not funny. And when you're doing these roasts, it's got to be about the jokes. It's got to be about the content. This is just padded out fucking filler. I don't understand why anybody would agree to be in this. If I were Jackie, I would have sat it out like I did the E! Show and just said, no, I don't want any involvement. This is going to be shit. And for a guy who claimed later on, I didn't want to be on SNL 5 years later, 5 years from now, because I didn't want to be in any lame sketches. What the fuck is this?
It's terrible. Also, the Whack Pack and other people were funny, I think, more on the radio, hearing, and you had to think in your mind what they look like. That theater of the mind of a high-pitched Eric or an Eric the Midget.
Yeah.
I find the way that they use them on TV is not nearly as funny back in the day when they would be on the show on the radio.
Well, it was sad. I mean, it was sad when you'd see a lot of them. Not sad, certain ones like High Pitch Eric. I don't care if he gets hit by a bus, but certain other ones like Eric the Midget. I think Artie and them, they met when they finally met Eric the Midget, and they go like, he's the size of a small turkey, and he's in a wheelchair. There's really not much funny about him except his voice and how he speaks. But the minute you get the visual, instantly people are, a lot of people instinctively go, no, can't do it. Just can't do it. It's like punching a nun. It's like punching a nun. You can't do it.
I'll go on record and tell you that I never slept with this person, although I did like his hair.
Who?
So, bless you, Howard. By the way,
couldn't tell.
How is your wife and my children?
Now look at Allison.
What a good sport.
Yeah.
The bad boy of late night. Watch the Howard Stern Show on a special day and time. Friday night at 12 midnight on Channel 9.
You know what is really bad, too, is you're just seeing all these wigs. I mean, even in the background right here, there's essentially a different wig on him every time. This isn't a hairstyle. How could you be hiding? And it's hiding in plain sight. I mean...
Absolutely.
Welcome back to the Howard Stern Roast.
Ladies and gentlemen, Pat Cooper.
Pat Cooper.
Now, poor Pat having to do this. I'm expecting a train wreck.
Joan Rivers and Lynn, that's Beauty and the Beast.
You hate Joan Rivers.
I don't hate nobody, Howard. I just want to understand. I came here, I thought this was a show.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, Steve
I can't understand. First of all,
Now listen to him. He won't shut the fuck up. Any roast, you don't get to speak. The roastee doesn't get to speak to the end. He won't shut the fuck up at any one point.
somebody, of course, he had to have creative control over all of this. Somebody should have taken his fucking mic away.
It just.
This isn't. He can't do a different show. It's always the radio show. So the second that he goes into or tries to do something creatively different, it ends up just being like the radio show, except for this is nowhere near the same format. So you're trying to make it something that it's not because you can't handle it. You can't handle something different.
No, absolutely. So he always goes into the same mode. And look at, we've said it many times, guys, I'm sorry to be a broken record. Look at any late night appearance. He just won't shut the fuck up because he still thinks I got to fill time. There's a break, there's a song coming up, but I got to fill time before I do the weather report back in the day. He's such a creature of habit, and he has no actual funny bone or sense of what's wrong. Like, I do you think somebody like Jackie might have told him, and Jackie's a hack too. He's just like a vaudeville. He's basically like a Catskills comic that he gave a job to. But do you think he at any point told him, Howard, I think maybe you should, do you think he offered any kind of advice for this and it was not taken?
I think everybody in this room is dying of secondhand embarrassment. I mean,
absolutely.
I'm watching it 20 years later on a computer screen and I'm sweating. This is how bad it is.
Right.
So I'm sure they tried.
And as much as they can with him, because you know what is going to happen when you disagree with him. I mean, if the executives of this particular channel decided they didn't want to fucking put up with this shit, can you imagine what it would have been like working with him on the radio show and then doing this with him? I'm sure they were all browbeaten and just said, "Fuck it, let him do what he wants. Let King Baby get away with whatever. Let him fall on his face, even."
Right. I mean, we all know people who. You could lead a horse to water, but they're not going to drink.
I saw you, fuck. That you were aborted. Don't they understand? First of all, people didn't know that this man they thought was a twin. When he was born, his body came out. 2 days later, his nose attached. This is what we got to go through, ladies and gentlemen, to keep show business to make this guy make $1.6 million a year. I can't get $35.
Look at the shot. Okay, so we got that's a better shot from this angle. Two camera guys. That's all they have. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, maybe 7 tables in the small studio. A bunch of strippers in front, but if you count each table, empty. Nobody back here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. There's certain venues, there's certain things. Unless you have canned applause, it's never going to sound full. And so it doesn't matter how many people you have in there, the way you've got it laid out, it's never going to sound, especially when no one's laughing. I mean, poor Richard. Look at Richard Simmons there just dying of fucking, I could be doing so much better stuff than this. And why am I putting myself through it with this whole table?
Right. And what is this trying to be? You have, the reject Baywatch models up front, and then you have some elegant banquet going on.
Like, what is it?
And he has a flower arrangement like it's church. I mean, what the fuck is this?
So if it's supposed to be a parody of a roast, it's not a great parody. If it's supposed to be a real roast, it's not a real roast either. So which is it? You can't have it both ways, guys. That's what everybody criticizing this video is going to say. They're going to go, well, guys, you don't understand satire. Well, clearly he didn't either.
And I'm brilliant. I don't understand this at all. It's unbelievable what's going on over here. They got everybody writing, everybody with papers, everybody saying, give me jokes. I come up here to give me crap they give me. They say, let's watch the Italian die. Nobody gives a damn for me. And Geraldo, every show I've done, I've always said it, you're still a scumbag.
Yeah.
Scumbag. I hope, Geraldo, you get a cramp on your tongue. I can't believe America. Look what's happened to America. Here's a man, like a priest, trying to become a star, and Geraldo, liver lips, he winds up with 2 shows.
Right.
Anyway, Howard, get a haircut.
How you like Richard Simmons,
I have no respect for Richard Simmons as a man. I liked him when he was a Twinkie.
Right. All right. Joe.
You understand?
What'd you think of Joan Rivers' tribute speech?
I think Joan Rivers needs an enema of the brains.
Why don't you like her?
I don't dislike her. I don't hate her. I just don't like what she tells people who's a genius. This one's a genius. This girl.
So now it's a radio show. All of a sudden, it went from being a roast conversation he'd be having in studio with Pat Cooper. So again, guys, it's awkward.
No editing. I mean,
nothing.
This is like a conversation you would have with someone at an award show and you ran into them going to the bathroom. I mean,
I just read that segment from the Colford book saying they did 90 minutes. They taped 90 minutes to get 60. And it runs 47 minutes, 51 seconds with commercials. So they had 13 minutes of commercials and they still didn't have enough for, like, this is what they used, guys. God only knows what's going on the cutting room floor. It's unbelievable.
Girl with no talent, even with a bat.
Really?
I know talent.
I know.
You don't have any. Robin don't have any. This cameraman has talent. He's going after all the girls with the bazooms.
Yeah.
That's talent.
That's real talent.
Anyway, I need an agent.
Thank you, Pat.
the one's got Cinderella hair, just as big as Howard's.
I do like that he said they didn't have any talent.
Yeah.
Oh, thank you, Amy.
I did not know that.
Those breasts real?
Certainly.
I heard these breasts were not real, Robin.
They're attached.
They are attached? No, I heard they're not real. I heard they were breast implants, and I heard that one of you...
So again, he's got to address Robin, who's completely off camera, as if he's on the mic, as if he's on a radio show, talking to someone else, talking directly to her, but actually not. And then the other purpose here, of course, if you're getting roasted, you're not the host. There's someone who's the roast master. They do all this bullshit. If there is going to be somebody, but no, he has to do it.
Look at that schmo face, and he twacks her boob. This is ridiculous. Let's just... So stupid. Also, too, like you just said, Robin got up and announced, so it started with Richard Simmons. Right. Howard came out in the Farouk King topper with the bathing suit people. Then, and then nobody announced the first Richard thing, or whoever announced him, I forgot.
Right.
Richard did his thing. Then Robin got up and announced Pat. And now look at, what does he do? I mean, what is this? Nobody, no semblance.
Is that true? Tell the story.
Just a little.
What happened? What do you mean? What happened? Richard, you don't have to pay attention to this. You don't have to look at this.
Sort of like an inner tube with a tiny hole.
What happened? Your breast.
They deflate. They deflate occasionally.
Your breast deflated? Is that really true? And things started leaking out of them.
Little tiny.
Who cares?
Like, where's the fucking joke? This is an excuse to show fake tits. Okay, and Snapple, because they were still advertising with them. Okay.
Snapple?
Of
and
course.
did Snapple?
Fills my holding tanks.
You know, Leslie, did you ever think of drinking iced tea in the middle of winter? My staff does. They're always guzzling Snapple iced tea. Do you know that? All the people on the show love the iced tea. You have
so all of a sudden, it's a plug in the form of fake tits and Snap, like that in the middle of your you've already got commercials. This is what you're going to entertain people with. I don't fucking understand this. At 92, get a Playboy if you want to see tits. What's the point of this?
I hate myself every week more and more for ever enjoying him. Or I don't even...
But I mean, but hold on, let's be fair. You did not enjoy this first time you ever saw this.
No.
You couldn't have.
No.
Even in retrospect, there's no way. Like if you put on your
like I said,
you put on your 92 glasses, no way.
Yeah. No, and I never enjoyed anything he did on TV other than the E! Show.
Mm-hmm.
It's incredible.
Yeah, it is incredible that they even advertise on a show as sleazy as this. Their iced teas are so wholesome, so delicious and refreshing because they're 100% real brewed, no tea extracts, no concentrates. It's pure tea.
Fucking Lord.
Snapple is steeped. Dick, are you in my shot? No. Can you just sit down?
I can stand up here.
Oh, I don't want you standing here.
Okay,
you sit down. You're very old and feeble, Dick. Snapple is steeped the old-fashioned way. Yes, this is really good. Here, Dick, drink a little of this. You're going to love it. Go ahead.
Help you get through the show.
Right, and it won't stain your choppers. Oh, really? Yeah, go ahead. Turn around. Turn around to the camera. That's it. You're in show business. And move away from me so you don't block my shot. There you go. There.
Oh.
This is like a high school play. That's about the only approximation I can think of, guys.
This is a rehearsal. A rehearsal of a bad high school talent show or something. Like a high school pageant. I don't know. I don't know. I'm sorry. And I'm watching this bikini and the tuxedos. What is going on?
And and also, by the way, guys, what's the I'm trying to figure out what's the like if this is written, this is written out, like this was planned. There was somebody that went through like a line producer and said, okay, we got to get this in. There's no way.
I'm taking a screenshot of this. Hold on.
Okay, so keep it as it is.
There you go. All right, you can go now.
All right, fair enough.
You're very good. I'm going to tell you something. You know, he reminds me of Bill Wendell on the Letterman show. Yeah. Thank you. No, you're better than him. This original with lemon diet made with 100% NutraSweet. Look at these flavors: raspberry, orange, mint, even decaffeinated. Try some Snapple iced tea today. I'll tell you that. You know what this is? No. You shouldn't drink this. You need the fountain of youth.
Oh,
That's what you
I
need.
sure do.
Yeah. You know, I know you're going to...
Another old joke?
Best stuff on earth. All right, go ahead. Do your thing. Snap.
There's lots more of the Howard Stern roast still coming up, including a few words.
You know what I think? I think he negotiated with Snapple to give him more money just for him to do the Snapple thing right there in the middle of the roast that nobody else had a piece of because it was his. I'm sure that's exactly why that's it. Because it makes no sense. It makes no sense. There's no funny involved. Okay, fine. It's just an out-and-out plug, and all of a sudden you see the Snapple thing come in. That was him getting the live read money.
And even look at the
fonts.
The fonts with the thing. It reminds me. Remember when you would scribble on your notebook at school or something, and you tried different fonts, or you would cover your
binder.
book with. Yeah. Or you'd cover your textbooks in paper bags and you'd write all over them. So, and you'd practice different fonts. Like I remember trying those kind of super cool looking, edgy fonts just to be
stencils.
Because I'm so bored and not paying attention.
Yeah. And poor Henny, I don't even know why they would fucking put him through this.
Oh, what can I say to Howard that'll really get him going?
You're not the father.
Yeah.
Guess what? You know those leather pants you drool about that my wife wears that you saw her in an NBC elevator one time? I saw them last night. I also saw what's under them.
Oh, big deal.
Yeah, he doesn't care about that unless she's a Asian boy.
I was going to say, so here, just so you can get an idea, everybody, is the cardboard flames underneath and this awful, awful font that, you can also barely see it in the back. There's a purple on violet font behind the podium. Right around here. That's how well it was fucking lit and coordinated.
The Elephant Boy.
Yeah, Fred the Elephant Boy.
Oh, God.
Hi, Harry. Thank you for letting me be here. Thanks to you and your radio show.
I have to be honest, guys. I never found Fred the Elephant. I know people have their whack packers, their favorites and stuff. He was never one of mine. And just because he's there because of the voice, right? But I never found him funny. I found it. But
it was a one-time funny thing.
Right.
It was funny once.
I guess.
Maybe. Okay.
Yeah.
Some people can consider this funny once.
Right.
But now it's basically making fun of a deaf person almost because that's what it sounds like. Why is this? I don't know. Okay. He's got a weird voice.
Yeah.
It's going to go great on TV.
Yeah.
Nobody understands what you're saying. Say so. In other words, are you doing the tribute? You're thanking me for. I'm the first guy that helped you get a woman.
Introduced me to sex.
I introduced you to sex. And I didn't have sex with you, but
no.
That's right.
Make it clear.
Yeah.
By the way, let's compliment your speech coach, Marley Maitland. She's an excellent. Go ahead, keep going.
Harry, let me tell you all about it. I met her in a restaurant.
Listen to that fucking echo. There's no laughs. There's no nothing. People are just kind of there looking at their watches.
Today, Junior.
She was very
from Billy Madison, or
to her place, her apartment, and we have the best time ever.
Huh? Tell everyone that you're Henny's son. Tell them the truth. Isn't that your son, Henny?
Could be.
Yeah. All right, thank you, Elephant Boy. Sit down.
I just noticed Jackie's there right next to Pat Cooper, and you barely heard a Jackie laugh until now. That means, first of all, that lends credence to the idea that, it was Jackie had very little input into this at all because he would laugh at his own jokes, first of all. Thankfully, if he didn't write them, that proves why they weren't funny. But because Jackie was great with the one-liners. I loved Jackie. I loved Artie more, but Jackie on the show when it was all firing, it was fucking phenomenal. Just amazing.
Do you think that Gary's palms are sweating because he knows that this is going horrible?
I think Gary's going, I'm getting my $2,000 or my $1,500 for one-time fee for this because they were all getting, if Howard was getting 10,000 of the budget, the rest of them were making do with fucking peanuts. It would have been 10,000 for the rest of them, including all the guests. I can't imagine that, I imagine Pat Cooper did this for free, just for the exposure. Is that one of those, what the hell? And Henny Youngman probably got 5 G's or something just to sit there. But you can tell because there's nothing left in the budget for food. Nobody's
You know,
eating.
and look at the color choices. They chose a pink,
Yeah.
a pink table, whatever
Yeah.
tablecloth on the dais tables, but then they chose red napkins, but then
Yeah.
there's purple flowers. I mean, what?
Yes. Have you been watching Richard Simmons? He still hasn't broken character.
I can't take my eyes off.
I like it. You're still acting like a man, and that's the way you should.
And there's the cameraman right in front, like totally in the shot, like when he shouldn't be there. They should never see this.
Actually, Richard being dressed like a man is showing everyone what a jerk off Wiggy is. 'Cause that's the way you should. You should be a man. Yeah,
Right,
you're so
'cause he-
tough.
Yeah, well, he hasn't announced
Are
his
you
cure for
jerk-
homosexuality yet.
Yeah, and then he's gonna go jerk off his chess teacher 10 years from now.
Yeah.
Some actor, I got to tell you. You know, I think it'd be easier to teach someone to play the violin. I really do.
I can just see.
Now look at like he's clearly pissed. There's the Richard Simmons right there. He's not embarrassed being in front of camera. He's just embarrassed being there, and he's pissed that he's done this. There's nothing in those eyes to indicate that he's pleased.
I know. He's sitting next to a skeleton.
Yeah, you're really pulling it off. It's great.
Well, anyway, Howard, back to the show. Another man reached out to Howard, and his name was Augusto, the homeless man. Howard fed him, cleaned him, and got him a job.
Good cheer, it's that time of year.
Basically, he'll be, first we're going to have him just wiping down the cars, you know, and getting to know exactly what's going on.
Why is this on a roast?
Well, yeah. What is this? It's a commercial to make you show you. Oh, Howard's a great guy. He helped this homeless person get a job. We don't
see
even
how
know
much he loves black people. Remember that the guy in the beginning with his eyeball popping out?
with the googly eyes. He had crazy eyes.
And, basically, that's it.
Number one is a job, something that I need. Number two, it's nothing I may have for me.
Christmas music?
I don't understand.
Number three,
Maybe it was released around
fella
Christmas.
that we get along real fine out here. And I'm going to enjoy myself out here working.
Guys, I'm struggling. What's the funny fucking part of this? That's the first thing I would have edited out. That's the absolute first thing I would have just taken out.
Okay.
Hold on, Sam. Do you get the idea that the WWOR people were like, fine, let him fall on his fucking ass?
That's a great point. I think, well, they said 92, this was over. I think they were like, okay, you want to do a roast tribute / awful infomercial / let's just throw the kitchen sink in special. Here, we'll let you do whatever you want. It'll be as great as you want it to. And then it's this.
I will tell you guys that there at the end of the Richard Pryor show, which only aired about 4 or 5 episodes on NBC back in the late 70s, the last thing they did, I believe, was a roast of Richard by all the cast. Like, you know, the Marsha Warfield, Robin Williams was there, Paul Mooney was on there, Tim Reed, who later became Venus Flytrap in WKRP in Cincinnati. And that was funny. That was hysterical. That really was. And that was closer to when these roasts were still going on. They were actually, you know, they were going on in 1977. Now, that was the end of their, because they got canceled. Basically, Richard didn't really want to do it anymore, and the ratings weren't great, and censors blah blah blah. But he was just he was like Howard. He didn't want to actually do the work, and it was funny. This ain't funny, but this seems like you're right. The last ditch show. Let's throw this together because we have nothing better to do.
Also, this isn't a roast. I mean,
No.
I don't know why they're calling this a roast. Why is this a part of it?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm a great guy. I am a great guy, aren't I, Augusto? Everybody,
Ladies and gentlemen,
that's right.
Augusto.
Yeah, everybody says I'm a skunk, but I'm a great guy. Say something nice about me.
If you say it 100 times, people believe it. Okay.
Keep standing up.
Yeah.
Thank you.
This is terrible.
I rather preferred president of IBM, but I preferred that.
What the hell did you just say, Augusto? What kind of trivia is
What
that?
in the Jesus?
Augusto, go swim home. What's the matter with you? Unbelievable. Thank you, Augusto.
Swim?
Yeah. Who wrote that for you?
Did he just tell him to swim home because he's
Yes.
black?
Well, he's
Oh, okay.
Cuban. He's Cuban.
Oh, he's Cuban. Okay. So
Yeah.
he gave Sal shit when he did that broke a rib. Because you just wanted to say rib.
Or the
Remember?
Nick Gers joke, which he regurgitated every so often.
Something. Hey, honey, I want you to get this. You see this, sweetheart? Look over here. That's an earring in her belly button.
Is it?
Yeah, why didn't you get something like that? Go ahead, work on that.
Wow.
Isn't that hot? I like that.
Howard, now it's time to say hello to a man
Wow.
who tries to blow smoke through his eyes. Kenneth Keith Kallenbach.
Hey, you got the same haircut Richard Simmons is.
Witness the sound, listen to the sound, please, of one hand clapping. I mean, this is awful. And Kenneth Keith Kallenbach, he died maybe, 2007 or so in prison, as far as this, if I could recall correctly.
I don't know.
I think he was in the Hooskow for something, and he died while he was in prison. I just... Ugh.
I just want to compliment you. You have respect for everyone. You have courtesy. You have an excellent sense of direction. You don't take anybody for what they are not. And what I really would like to do for you is blow smoke through my eyes. It's a special occasion.
All right, you blow smoke through your eyes. Go ahead.
I'm going to do it. It's a special occasion. And this is what I do. This is my act, man.
Very good.
Oh, no, here he goes again. Oh, no, I don't know what this is.
This is embarrassing.
What is that? No, don't do that. What are you doing? What are you doing? Just stop him, Gary.
Now I'm going to turn it over to the man who inspired me to quit my job at the post office and turn to a career in show business. Please introduce Henny Youngman.
And poor Henny, who's a fucking... Like he's a friar. He was, God rest in peace, Henny Youngman, and he was a legendary one-liner comic. Okay, now he's up for this because they're paying him, but I'm sure he's thinking, take the money back, please. I take my money, please. I don't want to come back.
What?
This is awful.
And again, a roast is when you get up and you make fun of people on the dais and the person who, is the man of the hour or woman of the hour.
Right.
This is just a bad talent show.
Yeah. Somebody walking right in the frame.
What did he just... By the way, did he beat himself up with, like, dirt in his pocket? What was this? Candy bars?
I think it was a blackjack or something. I don't know. And candy bars, yeah. He was eating the wrappers.
Beautiful. Very good.
And you just laugh.
Nice try. Which one is Howard? Looks like a bunch of rejects from the Addams family here.
Yeah, that's fine. Come on.
Am I on yet?
Yeah, you're on.
Am I?
Yeah, you're on.
Howard, I brought you my new book. Who's going to read it to you?
Thank you, Henny.
I'm very happy to be here. I don't know why.
I don't know either.
Henny, great material for a bar mitzvah.
Did you?
Go ahead.
Did you have your hair cut in a pet shop?
No, I take that as an insult.
Listen to the fucking silence, guys. Like you be the judge. If this is a roast, it's a shit roast. If it's a fake roast, it's like if it's a parody, it's a shit parody. I'm sorry, I'm repeating myself. I apologize. So are they.
You apologize. You should be apologizing to me for this. No, I'm just kidding.
Someone recommended we cover this because it was so awful. And you know what? I did look on the YouTube channel for the comments where this was originally found, and almost everybody's saying Howard STFU. Like just sit down and shut the fuck up. And they're saying he's filibustering his own roast, and he ruined it. Most of them all say it's shit because of Howard.
And then here's the irony. We're going to filibuster and ruin it even more and prolong it.
I want to tell you, this is what happens to certain people when two first cousins get married. That's what happens.
Go ahead, Sam.
Very true. Look at that monster sitting next to you, Penny. But even then, look at Howard's a little nervous because Henny doesn't know that, okay, we're roasting him, aka we're paying tribute to him and maybe saying we got to let him take the lead. Henny doesn't know this, and Pat Cooper doesn't care about this. So these are the only two who kind of won't play by the rules, and he's sweating already. Like, he already threw off a bad joke about the bar mitzvah, but he knows, like, he has to somewhat respect the guy.
Yes. Because it's
So
Henny
this is
Youngman.
So this is even more awkward, I think.
Yeah, I think you're right. It's not manufactured either.
Howard Stern, nowhere but in America can a man come from a poor family, from a poor neighborhood, and help that family by shining shoes and selling newspapers and look towards a dream. And finally, that dream has come true, where today is one of the best loved men in the entire nation. But enough about me.
It's all here in the book. All here.
Anyway, I want to wish you a lot of luck. If you get away with this stuff, there's something wrong with the business. Goodbye.
Thank you, Henny.
I couldn't agree more.
He's probably like, just fucking pill me up and unplug me if this is where show business is going.
You know what? That was such a salient point you made. I have to give you full kudos. They're right. It's called a roast, but it's meant to be tribute. It's meant to be like a testimonial to Wiggy, and they're not all on the same page. Now that means the direction was non-existent. They literally said, "Let's film whatever we fucking got and clip it together, and whatever the fuck it is, it is." And so sound went out the window, direction went out the window. Content went out the window, and whatever they got, this is all they could fucking rummage from the 90 minutes that they filmed. But I bet you they filmed more than 90 minutes for this shit show. Go ahead.
And he literally got up there to plug his own book and tell him this is shit, and if this is what show business is, goodbye. I don't even know what the hell this is. Also,
Right.
How funny is this that he didn't even learn his lesson after this bomb? We go to 2014, the birthday show. Nobody knew what that was either. Are we interviewing people on stage because it's the radio show? Are we having musical performances? Is it a fun hoppity poppity live event? Is it skit comedy? Is it skit singing? What is it? Nobody knew.
Right. And it's one of those things where you throw everything into the mix, hoping something hits. And in fact, it just goes to show you Marcy Turk's an idiot as well, because I would have that fucking show, that birthday show, was such a train wreck from start to finish. It had no sense of itself. They didn't know what they were trying to do, so they tried everything. It was the same as Private Parts. He throws out every half-baked idea and decides, okay, in volume, you may not get all hits, but maybe you'll get one hit. He's hoping at this point. He doesn't have anything in his brain to go, this is going to work. I want this. He doesn't know what he wants, so he puts it all in and decides, let's hope for the best. And also, if this is the end of that particular incarnation of his show, that's also maybe another reason why he wouldn't care. But I don't believe that's the case. I believe if this was episode 1 and not the last episode, it'd be just as bad.
Right. Like, okay, you don't know what you want in this. This is not a roast. So we're going to throw in some disabled people to kind of pay tribute to me, but also joke around, and then they're going to do some tricks. I mean, what?
We have to include them. Otherwise, it's not the Howard Stern show.
Thank you, Henny Youngman. Thanks, Henny. I can't believe it. Oh, Henny, I'm going over here to do a commercial.
Also, inherently, everybody here's the main conceit and the main takeaway from any roast. The roast doesn't work, number one, if a host is unlikable, or if the subject of the roast is unlikable, it doesn't work. That's why the Trump roast didn't work. That's why the Chevy Chase roast was a complete bomb, because people fucking hated Chevy Chase, and no one really likes Howard, so nothing's hitting.
It's time to work.
The odd thing's working. No, look at this.
Look at Amy Lynn's breasts, and tell me why I can't have breasts on you.
Jesus H. Christ.
This is interesting. Remember? Oh wait, Teresa Lynn.
It was Teresa Lynn. I know what you were thinking. Yeah, Teresa Lynn was the one that claimed.
Anecdote.
Yeah, Vincent Pastore claimed that Teresa Lynn said she banged Howard on the set of Private Parts, and Amy Lynn was used for the photo shoots for Private Parts, the book, and I think she was in a bit of Miss America as well. So I'm not 100% sure, but she was a go-to.
Yeah. She's got huge cans, man. Jesus.
Yeah.
Those look nice, though.
I mean, one reason why you can't get breast implants. Amy, do you feel any cancer on your breast implants? Is there any cancer on your chest? No. Do you feel cancer in your chest?
Maybe Robin does. Go ahead. Yeah.
Yeah. Let's go around the room and ask people if they feel cancer. And then I'll let you know that I felt some cancer. I lied about it and promoted a book off of it.
Yeah, basically.
Yours exploded. Do you got the silicone ones or the salt water?
Oh, God, kill me.
Silicone?
Oh, God.
Really? It's unbelievable. Yeah. You see this? This can be
Yeah.
labeled at home.
That fucking silence, or that hiss. I don't know if you guys are hearing it. I don't know if it's going to come out in this recording. You can hear every cricket in the fucking room, without fail.
If you could see my hands right now, I am wiping them on my pants. I'm sweating. My palms are sweating because this is so fucking embarrassing. He just pulled out a label maker. I'm gonna cry. I'm gonna cry. This is so
I'm disgust its function.
You know how to spell IQ?
Oh, God. Here, 7-9, yours.
Yeah.
I'm not interested in leaking, and I think I'm fine.
But wouldn't that be great, like D cups on my wife? Wouldn't that be wild? Amy, did the operation hurt? Did the operation hurt?
So he's like, again, ADHD. He's going from his wife to Amy to this broad with the fake cans on stage to this stupid label maker. It's a train wreck.
Why don't you get fake hands? I would have stood up and said, why don't you get real hair and just snatch that fucking beaver off of his head and divorced him right then. She looks better than any of these bimbos on the friggin' stage. All these bims with life preservers, she manages to look cuter. And I'm not even joking. I think she looks cuter than them.
I think so too, actually. This is one of her best looks.
I'm a chicken.
You are chicken, and it wasn't that bad, right?
A little bit.
Oh, thanks a lot. That really helps.
It's different for every person.
I want you leaking, yes. I want you lactating salt water. Now this P-Touch, thank you, Dick. This P-Touch instantly
So another
makes
ad.
professional looking
Jesus
labels
Christ
instantly.
almighty.
Let me show you how you can use it. You put the power on.
Could you imagine being Henny Youngman and Pat Cooper, and this is what your show business career has transpired into? You're sitting in this soundstage and this is what you're watching.
And like an hour-long infomercial for other products, like for different products. You're being used, for him to plug Brother and Snapple, and probably something else before we're finished. I'm not sure. I haven't seen. But
Richard Simmons is sitting there stewing, pissed off in a man outfit. He's probably like, shit, now I got to sit here for this whole thing.
Right. Richard Simmons, who's making like, I don't know, $1 million, like 10 million a quarter on his fucking exercise videos, and he's sitting for this low budget piece of shit.
Bring in the roast right to
That's
Howard
a darn good label.
is a geek.
Oh.
Yes.
There you go.
That's for the roast. It's very nice. You get 5
His wife can barely smile at that.
in what you want, and out it comes. It's compact and it's portable. Do yourself a favor. Get a P-Touch today at Nobody Beats the Whiz, Staples, Jane.
So he's not only plugging the product, he's plugging 3 different stores. Jesus Christ Almighty. Well, okay, but this is my point. Someone goes, okay, well, they got to pay for the show somehow. They got to get the advertising. That's what the fucking commercials are for. That's why you've had 13 minutes out of the hour that's devoted to this shit. But no, you're going to crowbar it into the show as well? What other show would do that? In 92, 2002, fucking 2012. Only movies do that to show, but it's product placement. It's meant to go into the story. The guy's drinking a Coke or he's driving a BMW. That's provided by BMW. Obviously, these are not subtle. These are very subtle ads. What this is about as subtle as an elephant's cock.
I mean, I just keep thinking of infomercials that come on like, late at night. This is a big infomercial for products, but they're trying to market it as this was a roast. It's really just Snapple commercials and label maker commercials with old comedians, bimbos, and Stern. It's
Scrubs.
Ridiculous.
Yeah, because let's be honest, at that point, guys, Henny Youngman's a fucking ancient he was in Goodfellas, I think 2 years earlier, and Pat Cooper at that point he would have done anything for Stern, so it's not like a big get. But you don't actually have people that you would have expected on those roasts. Nobody.
Our music world.
Fake applause piped in because barely anybody's applauding there.
Oh God.
Allison Stern.
Yes, stuttering John. Now, Anyway, we'll continue. Here we go.
I don't even know why I'm doing this. I have chest pains. You antagonize me. Hurt the feelings of many aunts and uncles of mine. What is this, your birthday? Is it a perm carnival? Why am I here? You know why?
Perm carnival.
Things that shouldn't be smelled. You put people down when they shouldn't be. God, I love you. Haven't you helped me? Isn't this, Richard, Anything But Love, 9:30s on Wednesday on ABC? Don't I use you to plug Anything But Love, Wednesdays, ABC? Aren't you going to mock that? Aren't you going to mock that? We have 10 seconds. You're holding up the whole damn show, Howard.
Because Anything But Love is on Wednesdays, 9:30
That's right.
ABC. And Howard, roast this.
Happy birthday, baby. Don't even know her. Wednesday.
So Richard Lewis couldn't even be bothered to do a proper, like, he was at that point. Richard Lewis was probably at the height of his career, because that was a network show for about 3 or 4 years, and it was actually doing moderately well. And I loved it, actually. It was one of my favorite shows back when I was still watching, sitcoms and stuff. But here's, in case you didn't get the Richard Pryor bit, here's the replay.
Howard, here's the man who takes credit for everything you
Go ahead.
But here's the funny part is they said Richard Lewis, Jamie Lee Curtis, like they're participating in this. They just wanted to plug their show for fucking 10 seconds and then say F you. And that's now they're considered to be a part of the show. No.
Yeah.
What fake advertising?
is his belly button.
So true.
Please welcome the very bitter and the very upset Jackie the Joke Man Martley.
Yeah, let's see this. All right.
So let's shit on Jackie some. That's fine. If it's a roast, that's what you're supposed to do.
Get out of the chair. Let me see what happens now. Shut up. This is his big moment. Now it's yours.
So here again, he won't shut the fuck
We'll
up.
see how funny this is, Robin.
Jackie uncensored and unedited.
All right, leave.
The two of them can't get out of their own fucking ways. Let the guy do what he's supposed to do if it's a roast.
Let's see how funny this is. Let's see. Okay, calm down.
Oh my fucking Lord.
Give him a chance.
Stereo morons right here.
Go ahead, all right.
8 years I've waited to call you Big Bird to your face, you gawky bastard.
All right, go ahead.
They're not going to laugh at one thing I say.
No, that's right.
We'll laugh when they laugh.
Yeah.
How about that?
That's the deal.
Nobody's laughed at anything.
That's your job, Robin, to laugh after other people are laughing.
Okay, Howard.
Go ahead, get out all your anger.
Howard Stern.
That's good.
You take away his looks, his body, his charm, and his personality, and what have you got? Howard Stern.
Now, let's be honest, though. Jackie is bombing, like, horrendously, even though whether or not they've planned to do this in advance, which might be, but he's really bad anyway. I don't think they planned bullshit. No one's laughing is enough.
It also goes along with this entire evening, though. I mean, who would be successful during this?
Harry laughed at that.
No, Gary.
People say to me, Jackie, how can Howard act like such a jerk? It's simple, he's not acting. Oh, this
good. Now you realize.
Don't you love show business?
I'm doing so much better than Henny, but at least he was old.
You know, at least
Howard.
now you realize that you need me.
Write me a joke.
That's what you realize. You need me.
I absolutely got to have.
Oh, this is
just passive aggressive. Oh, well, it's not even passive. It's just aggressive, like, fuck you, Jackie. But to be fair, look, Jackie, he never really understood his real contribution was not even, well, I mean, it was some of the things like the jetty and his cat and the wife and stuff. But as a joke writer, as a guy that handed jokes to Howard to make him funny, it was perfect.
He was great at reactionary jokes.
Yes, outside of that.
Reactionary.
Yeah, but you put him in even though when he did it later, the divorce roast, Jackie was awful. I mean, he's just not good. I don't know. I've never seen him in concert. Have you?
No, but still, like, the way that they set this up, Howard can't shut up from beginning to end. Neither can Robin. Do you realize where you are, any of you?
Yeah.
Or
it's either too self-aware or not aware enough, because clearly they've got all their signals, every wire is crossed, and poor Jackie. I mean, I felt bad when I was editing this, because I just wanted to see the Jackie stuff a little bit to see if there was any laughs to be had, and there's none.
I admit that Howard does work hard. He had to search far and wide to find a producer whose face he could make fun of. There
There you go.
Okay, all right. Credit where credit's due. Credit where credit's due. A terrific, skewed sense of humor, a brilliant mind, amazingly fast, a joy to work with.
Thank
And
you.
think, I wouldn't even have met Fred Norris if you hadn't have called me. I would like to say
Fred's sweating. Like, please don't put this on me.
Now, here's the thing people should understand as well. When they do roasts, even back in the day, they have chances to do it over and over again. And the Comedy Central roasts are no different. People, they will say, cut, and let's do that joke again. And then people are expected to laugh and applaud, like, again, just as hard as at the first time. Imagine hearing someone bomb at a joke 10 times and having to applaud and laugh at something that wasn't funny the first time. Now, through the magic of post-production, they add audience noise, whatever, laugh track, whatever the fuck, and they cut to people laughing. But if you actually attend those roasts, and the comedians have all discussed it, that you get like silence, or the guys perform so badly that they become bumpers in the commercial. Like Eddie Griffin did one time, I think it was the Pam Anderson roast, and he was awful. Andy Dick did the same thing. He was Spock, I think. He was supposed to be Spock at the William Shatner roast, and you barely saw him because it was just a visual. It wasn't funny. And it happens. But in this case, they left everything. There was nothing on the cutting room floor. This is all they could come up with.
and everything that Howard has killed with so far, and that if the world was a pair of underpants, he would be the skid marks. Thank you very much for not laughing at anything.
Thank you, Jack. Very good.
Sorry, Jack.
All right, sit down. The best.
He's not finished. He's not
Hey,
finished.
Jackie, here's a book for you.
I'd like to do the whole thing again.
Jackie the Joke Man.
Let's just keep all of this in.
Yeah.
That'll be angry all weekend like we sabotaged.
Oh, yeah, we sabotaged and we made people
You'll figure out a way to blame me for that performance. Yeah, you'll see.
Boy.
See this?
Yeah, there you go. Break your pen. Very good.
This.
Oh,
I'm
my
sorry,
God.
guys. You tell us we're wrong, and you tell us you laughed at this. Tell us. We'll believe you.
I just had an epiphany. This reminds me of when you're watching somebody's wedding toasts, and it's like, and it's all awful, or it's like watching a wedding of somebody you kind of know, and and they don't really know a lot of people.
Yeah.
And bunch of people are just hammered and get up to speak, and there's no semblance. I mean, this is a bad wedding toast, one after another.
We've all seen them. And when my best friend got married, I did not even 2 minutes up there, and I was told not to by the wedding planner. But I told her, look, I flew across the world for this, and I'm speaking, and I had them in the palm of my hand because I spoke from the heart. But my poor friend's brother got up and did 20 minutes, and it was interminable, and it was unfunny, and it wasn't emotional. It was nothing. There was nothing redeeming about it. He knew he had to get up and make a speech, but he would have been better off just going up and saying, let's cheers to the bride and groom. I love them both. Welcome to the family. No one would have had minded that. This is like that. This is like that 20 minutes rolled over and over again. And you're right. That's a great analogy.
And now for a man who looks like he has an igloo in his mouth. He calls himself producer. We call him idiot. Gary Dell'Abate.
Very good.
Yeah.
You know why this is called a roast? Because
So he hasn't even had a fucking chance to. He's on mic, and still Howard's like fucking piping in for no good goddamn reason. Also, if Robin's the host, why wasn't she from the beginning doing all the announcing and on mic?
I don't know, Fillmore.
there's all that green crap on your teeth. We could roast all of that. Right, boss?
Well, how are you, boss? I want to say it's a pleasure to roast my boss. Howard really is a great boss.
Slow down.
We've got all night.
We got all night, Gary.
Howard really is a great boss.
How much coke did he take before this? Jesus.
Right after the Islanders game.
Gary, I don't know. I think he just broke character.
Howard really is a great boss. The other day he fired me, and as usual, I started to cry, and Howard said he couldn't stand to see a grown man cry, so he took his glasses off. Thank you, folks. But seriously, Howard's a great entertainer.
Who wrote that, Jackie?
When he played the...
Yeah, if you want to replay it, we're going to be here a long, long time.
Fillmore.
Yeah. What?
I'm horrified.
You can't see Sam's face, everybody, but she really is like looking at, I don't know, a botched abortion. Like that's what she's looking at.
I would be horrified for a botched abortion. I would not be embarrassed for one. This is, I mean, depends on who's getting it, but this is just.
National Coliseum, he drew a line 3 blocks long. Then they took his chalk away. All right. And what an actor! What an actor!
What the fuck? Okay, so Gary is shooting from the hip for every joke. We have to look forward to him, you know, doing some Michael Jackson choreography.
To be fair, to be fair though, Gary's not a comic. He's not. He's not making his bones doing comedy. He's a producer from a fucking radio show. I give him a pass for that. And at least he's trying. Like, he is trying. I don't see any effort given by other people.
How funny is this though that they plan this roast and it's mostly his staff that's on the dais that's roasting him, and the people that he could get barely did 10 seconds and then sat back down and said what a pathetic thing it is to even get up right now for this.
I think the whole thing was they didn't want to edit anything and they just threw it together because it has that, like, I don't know what's it called, like a fucking pound cake full of shit. Like, throw the raisins in, throw the nuggets, throw the fruit, throw whatever you want, and just call it what you like. And that's what this is. Like, this bastardized cake that originally was something, but then became something else afterwards. Like a hybrid bastard child of all these stupid ideas.
You're right. So, it's a bad Christmas fruitcake.
Yeah, and the fruitcake's right there on the left. So.
Well, yelled, fine, fine. Then they made him pay it. But, you know, is this on? Well, let's talk about Howard's book.
Oh, I'm dying.
You've only made that sound a couple times.
I'm sweating from my chest now. I feel it. I'm
that was
so
Sam's
embarrassed.
That was Sam's chest cavity caving in.
How about that nose? How about that nose? Not only does it have its own zip code, it's got its own heart and lungs.
All right, yeah, enough.
But one thing I have to say about him, you can't help admiring him, because if you don't, you're fired.
That's right. Very good, Gary. Very good job.
Thank you, Gary. Thank you, Gary.
No, he's right. That's the fuckedest part. Like, that wasn't necessarily a joke. That was him outright saying, yeah, if we don't do this, we're up shit creek. So you can only imagine what the fucking producers had to put up with dealing with this asshole who's calling all the shots.
I can't imagine working for this tyrant for all these years. I mean, whatever money they made from this, fine, I guess, because your kids are set up for life, or your wives or your spouses. But I couldn't put up with this emotional torture forever. He's a horrible person.
Don't worry, we'll fix that in post, Robin.
Oh, boy.
In post? What post? Who edited this? I'm just kidding.
Yeah, that's some roast.
We gotta take that out.
What's that?
We gotta take that out. So,
okay, maybe
time.
I'll maybe I'll beep it. What time was it? Hold on, 2:01. Okay, 2:01. Bleep. Okay. We did have success with one bleep ages ago. Okay, let's keep going. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
To a guy who talks like Henny Youngman Pease. Stop and go. Ladies and gentlemen, a man with that certain nothing, hero of the stupid, Stuttering John.
All right.
Oh, boy, this just keeps getting better and better. I want to kill you right now. This day is... Oh, this is so bad.
This is a cavalcade of unfunny, folks. And it just, like, we just amped it higher. He looks like a fucking spite monkey.
What are you doing?
What are you doing?
I get the impression this is like his stand-up shows now, minus the hair. Sorry, guys. He looks like he just dragged his notes out of his like pants, not his pants pocket, his pants, literally his drawers, and then just hauled up. He's late getting on the mic when the guy does the announce, like, well, ladies and gentlemen, here's Stuttering John, and it's like, applause, 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 applause. He's still not there. Keep applauding, and then eventually there's that silence. Like, okay, we've applauded, we've clapped enough. Get him on the fucking stage, and here he is, hero of the unfunny. I'm sorry, guys. This is awful.
He looks like that whole thing reminded me of, you remember on MTV? I forgot who it was. I think it was Pearl Jam, when somebody or somebody climbed the set and was just sitting up there?
Yeah, it
was
it was Eddie Vedder in the when he was touring on the first record. I saw them at Lollapalooza, and he would climb the scaffolding. The lead singer during one like instrumental part of a song, he literally would climb the scaffolding with no net, no nothing, and he was easily 30 feet above the fucking stage.
Yeah.
Like he had
And
a death
everyone was
wish or
like,
something.
what the fuck is going on? This
Right.
was just like this is like a retarded Eddie Vedder just running around the set.
I guess.
Stuttering John, my friends call me for short. Hey, come on, a little laughs. What the hell's the matter with everybody around here?
A little laughs.
Here we go. I didn't know it
Very
was my
little.
turn yet.
All right, come on.
All right, Howard's done a lot for me.
Quickly.
I wrote it all down. He's been always good to me. I wrote it all down. All the good things he's done. All right, here we go. Let me just show you a few things Howard helped me do. Howard helped me. I got credits in college. I graduated NYU. I actually got my first job directing film after that.
Oh, remember, yeah, because I forget. He was an intern first, wasn't he?
Oh, we got to hear the Stuttering John credentials. Doesn't he still do this act where he runs it down every podcast?
Well, at least you won't hear he wrote for the Kareem Abdul-Jabbar roast because it hasn't happened yet.
Fillmore, I know his resume better than my own.
Yeah, better than he does.
I went $8,000 over budget because I couldn't say cut. Howard's helped me get my first Channel 9 contract, and thanks to him and Don Bucklow, I haven't got paid yet.
What is this? What is this? Why is he doing this?
Yeah, people will not understand part of the joke because even at the time it wasn't explained. He was, for a brief shining moment, represented by Buchwald, and in his own book he doesn't explain when he got with Buchwald. He doesn't explain when they split, but suddenly Buchwald's no longer representing him, and it was a very awful relationship. We're going to do a review of the book eventually. I hate to put Sam through it, but at least we'll be able to skip through most of the boring shit, which is about his upbringing.
Who are you kidding? You love putting me through this.
This is Chinese water torture.
This is working. This is working.
Howard's got me.
This is really working.
Howard's got me plenty of media coverage, plenty of it, and it was all culminated in my
Now it's show and tell.
Rolling Stone article, which Howard says that if I what? Oh man, I'm tired.
Why don't you relax? Robin.
Oh, wait, hold on.
High energy.
Hang on. Listen, after Jackie...
You know what this is like? Shut up for a minute.
After Jackie, how could I bomb?
No.
Oh my God.
When you smash a watermelon. It's unbelievable.
Go get him, Jen. I love you.
Go ahead, man. Pat loves you.
Anyway, it all culminated in my Rolling Stone article where Howard says that if I don't stop stuttering, I mean...
You blew it, John.
Wait, stop, guys.
Sorry, go ahead.
Do you believe that Stutter's for real? I think that's a put on for this particular thing. Like a save.
I'm in shock. This is so bad. Yes.
Now you're doing your
stuttering. This is so awful.
This is a fucking 92 Bonneville failing to start.
I gotta be honest with you. I would rather watch Beth groom one-eyed cats singing to them drunk on the floor than watch this ever again.
I think I would rather buy all of Shuli's albums and listen to them nonstop.
I would rather put together a show solely based on Shuli.
I'll be out of a job, which now I will prove that is not true. As I calm down, I will kill myself right here on TV.
You're going to cure yourself?
Yes, this is it.
You already died.
All right, John.
All right,
He paints his hair.
All right, John, go ahead.
Well,
He's going to cure himself. Go ahead.
No, John, don't kill yourself.
all right. I'm done. When aren't we supposed to go to my...
No, do your tribute to me.
Anyway.
All right, do your tribute to me.
Do your tribute to me. Do your tribute to me. Let's direct on the show that we're supposed to be filming. What?
You're supposed to...
No wonder why networks aren't clamoring for you to have a TV show, because you do this so seamless and well.
It's like a Frankenstein, like you see the flesh in Frankenstein, the way it was stitched together with a knitting needle. That's the kind of cuts you see on this fucking show. And even later on, I mean, like Howard TV I have to give those guys credit. I'm not going to shit on the Howard TV guys because they did what the best of what they could with a limited budget, and digital started to get more into digital. This is 92 limitations of 1992 filmmaking or TV making, but it's so clear that even with the Fox pilots, they gave him something like 400,000. 400,000 for, how did it work out? I think it was 400,000 a show for the Fox things in the Fox pilot in set in 87. 92, so 5 years later, it's a local cable station. They don't have as much money, and he clearly just doesn't have what it takes to make something out of nothing. And yet people still were duped into paying this idiot more and thinking that he could succeed. If there's any more clear indication that he has no ability to craft anything. Yeah. What people seem to forget also, in 1993 or 94, he did a Playboy interview that was actually hilariously unfunny. It was just funny for all the wrong reasons. If you read it, he talks about how the interviewer asks him, well, don't you think you would be, what do you think about putting your show on TV? And then he goes, nah, I don't think it would work. Buchwald, the same year, convinces him to put the E! Show together, where he actually does the exactly that. So anybody thinking he's some kind of mastermind, all he is a fucking 3-card Monty person on the street who shafted you out of whatever fucking money you got and tricked you and didn't even do the trick right. So Sirius XM, eat a dick. This is your shining boy that you, like 14 years later, you're still paying this asshole for nothingness. I'm so glad that they're stuck with him, actually, for being so stupid. Now that you got Grandpa and Pills McGee and Roomba, good luck. Jesus Christ Almighty! Like Beth is her own, she is her own Three Stooges cover band at this point. She's falling this week. We didn't incidentally do the breakdown this particular week because it was just so chock full of nothingness. And occasionally we'll do that, guys. We'll do the breakdowns when we feel there's something worth repeating, or there's some major projection. But I think there's only one show, and we'll tag it into the next week's stuff. But yeah, she would have loved to have been a Snapple girl.
So far,
come on, this is my ticket. I've been rolling stone.
Everything he's done so far, you agree it should be edited out, right? No, you believe that?
Oh, it's my idol.
Leave that. Leave what? What is this?
This is like an outtake they decided is going to stay in.
What are you doing?
Nothing. I'm just.
All right, now talk.
We're still on. All right.
Are we still on the air?
Yeah, what are you doing?
Hey, guy, you should talk, huh? You got some old chutzpah jokes over there. Come on, give me a break.
This is the guy NBC decided would be a good foil for Jay Leno. It was an exec at NBC that decided they wanted John. It wasn't Jay Leno poaching him, by the way, guys. We know this. We know this, and I'll somebody with. I don't know, but I'll provide the documentation. I think I sent it to you and Benjamin ages ago, and I'll do that when we do the Ultimate Stuttering John show. But this is a guy. Yeah.
This is like a roast. This is a roast out of control.
All right.
I don't know what he's doing.
What I'm doing is, come on, let's do the segment here. So anyway.
Henny keeps checking his watch. You're going to be out soon. Don't worry about it. I hope so. John, thank you. That was very good. You did a great job.
I'm sorry, Henny.
He's 28 years from slapping his palm on a podcast, Stuttering John, and poor Henny and Pat. You can just imagine them looking at their watch going,
I feel so bad for them.
This is like a High School Musical or High School.
Think of the daises that they have been on in their lifetime, and now in the twilight years, they're sitting at a table. Well, Henny's that old. I don't know how Pat's probably in his 50s here. I know, but I'm saying their career. They've had this illustrious career, and now they're relegated to this table watching this buffoon jump around, throw his hair, and undo his tux. Like, yeah. Well, I mean, it's kind of like, what was that one joke that Artie said that
because they were talking about, I can't remember, it was Seinfeld or something, and no, it was Andy Dick saying how great it was that Rickles came in to do the Stern Show, and Artie goes, "I'm just sad that Rickles has to play the Golden Nugget for 20 times a year," and Jerry Seinfeld's got 50-car garage in Manhattan. It's the breaks. The comedy is kind of weird for some people. I mean, these guys. Henny Youngman was a successful club comic. Pat Cooper was moderately successful in his own way. But you're right, they're way better than this. Even being the bottom rung comedians, they're better than this. And Jackie is
better
not.
than this.
I try my fucking best. I'm sure they did too, but I just can't. You're right. I feel sympathy for them. And there's Jackie like clapping, but you could see him. There was just him in repose, being really just sad that he was so awful. But he had to know it was going to be bad from the beginning. I don't know. I might have said, Howard, I'm not doing it. Fuck it. I'm cutting it out.
I wonder what Pat Cooper's saying to Henny right now.
Fill in. You may want to let me just do a little screen cap there, and then say.
Coming up next, Howard is roasted by our special guest, Sandra Bernhardt.
Hi, this is Larry King in Washington. What an honor to be asked to appear this evening. First touch of class this program has had since it went on the air. Do you know what I imagine when I envision Howard's during a birthday cake? All the candles are there. Howard closes his eyes. The guy says, make a wish. He blows out the candles. He wishes he were Larry King.
Oh, boy, yeah, that's right.
Uh-huh.
He's about as funny.
Gentlemen, the Howard Stern Show is proud to present Sandra Bernhardt.
Let me tell you something.
Poor Sandra.
Larry King.
I thank you for providing me with the girls tonight, though. We're all hurting.
Okay, now what's the story of that?
I walked up and they were like, we're here for you.
Really?
Rock the house.
I want to see, like, Madonna's pubic hair, so I caught one in Sandra's teeth. They were right.
By the way, guys, in case you're wondering, this is something that he had already fucking, like, bolted. He'd already fucking nailed this goddamn bit into the ground by this point, because she was doing the show. And at this point, Sandra had just broken up being friends with Madonna and was trashing her on Howard's show. So this whole pubic thing, I think it's pubic hair thing. It's in his book. He'd been like, he buried this bit long before this was dusty on this fucking show. So, and Sandra Bernhardt is a talent. You guys might not think about it, but she's done movies. She's hideously talented. She was doing TV way before he was on network shows. I think she was on the Richard Pryor show as well. But she was a regular at the Comedy Store. She had paid her fucking dues. She's above this. I'm sorry.
Yep.
Yep.
It's unbelievable. I took it.
It's black.
No, but that's not true, though, right? You don't get it on with her.
Let's get it on.
I wonder what that would be like.
I tried once.
You tried to get her?
I tried to hit on her.
And how did that go? That's unbelievable.
This is a roast.
Yeah,
I mean,
not an interview.
She can't even do her act or her set. Nothing. He won't let anything remotely funny happen. It's just he's a giant, big-birded fuck, just stepping all over things.
He's a leech. I was trying to think, what's the analogy in the animal or insect kingdom? He's just a fucking bloodsucker, and but instead of blood, it's laughs. He's sucking laughs out of anything, and there's no funny.
Apartment.
Really?
She let me massage her.
You got her on the bed.
No, I was on the floor.
What was she wearing?
And also, just right there,
What was she wearing?
hold on. Okay, that's an odd cut. You're supposed to be like directly 12 o'clock on the comedian or whoever's doing on the dais, but here it's more like 2 o'clock. The direction of the angle, and then when it cuts to the other shot, it's him and her. Why?
She should have been wearing in high school, but was still wearing, you know?
Really? And what were you wearing?
I was wearing a kooky little skirt and those little cowboy shoes like you're wearing.
Oh, this is great. We should
So
leave
they've
this in, guys.
So they've wasted already 2 minutes on banter.
And that's a good look with a tuxedo, don't you agree?
Richard,
Look, okay, look at that. Robin's cut off. And this is, okay, back in the old days of TV, they didn't have 16:9. They didn't have widescreen. But Jackie's in there, Robin's not. Wiggy's got to be in there, and a picture of Wiggy behind him as well.
I was
as
just
well as
going
his
to
name.
point to you. He's playing the guitar.
Yeah. It's Billy Squire.
Two people getting it on from the same sex? That's nuts.
Isn't it wacky?
That really is.
Poor Richard. And getting as much mileage out of having whatever D-list or C-list celebrity you have in studio at the time. So Richard Simmons that's I think second time they put his name and his face on there at the same time, as if to say, God, this is our A-list, guys. This is as much as we get.
Oh, and here's your gay savior right here.
Yeah.
Just,
Yeah.
Paving the way for everyone. You got it on with a woman? That's crazy.
Like, seriously, the good thing about two girls getting out is the guys like to get into it. You
Yeah,
know what
I
I
love
mean?
that.
It's never really wrong, is it, ladies?
Sandra, you want to say something about me? This is a roast. Say something about me. Come on.
Hear that applause?
Well, here's my question. Do you think she just went in there and whatever was going to happen? Or do you think she actually had
probably
jokes?
had something. My guess is she had something and realized, oh, he's not going to let me do anything because he can't handle it.
It's possible.
So now he's going into this, or he had this set up and maybe she was supposed to talk a little bit more in the beginning, but he just went right into it. I don't know.
Yeah.
With me, that'll look
Well,
good.
I don't know. The only thing that really bothers me is when I'm not around you, I hear through the grapevine that you're trashing me. That,
No.
Maybe
Robin, is that true?
Never. But then I confront you guys and you lie to me. You always say, like, we trash you.
Robin, is it true? Say no. Of course not. Like that awful fucking parroting she would do all the fucking time. How awful it must be to spend your entire career. Yeah,
being
she made
Uncle
money.
Tom. Yeah,
Being
it
Uncle
must be
Tom
terrible.
to this asshole, this unfunny asshole.
Robin, you're an embarrassment for your race. Just letting you know.
And gender.
Like hot lesbian references.
Well,
kind of like,
It's just, you've always
disparaging remarks.
You've always
Kind of-
hinted at lesbianism.
Yeah, but only the hot kind.
Yeah, right.
I'm not like exactly hanging out with ugly,
How far did
I'm trying to think if there any better analog for a gay Jewish woman that Howard would look more like. He'd be closer to Sandra Bernhard than some of the pictures he likes to. If he wanted to look, if he was going to be anything else in this life other than a man, he'd look more like Sandra Bernhard.
Yes.
Except without the talent, the wit, the timing, or the fucking, likability factor. I like Sandra a lot, actually. She's ballsy. She's brassy. I don't find her funny all the time, but she's actually a good actress as well. He's got none of that fucking talent.
No.
Yeah. So
Look at this.
you get with Madonna? Did you get to second base?
No.
Nothing. Make out?
A little kiss.
That
was
that's
it.
good. It's beautiful.
Yeah.
That's the closest he's coming to kissing a woman in his life, guy.
Wow, I really like that. Wow, that's a
Just
revelation.
Stay here with me.
All right, go ahead.
Because you know what?
You're nervous.
No, I'm not nervous. Because when I'm on Letterman, he doesn't let me really get close to him.
Oh yeah, I'll hump you right on this show. This show's stupid.
I'll hump you on this show. It's
Thank
so
you.
stupid.
I know. It is the stupidest show on television.
By the way, Robin, are those glued on or taped on?
Would you have sex with Robin?
Maybe.
Really?
What is this? What the fuck is this? I mean, I know I keep saying that, but every time they take a new horrific turn.
Yeah.
And here right now we have Sandra Bernhard. Yay! What are you, a lesbian with pubic hair in your mouth? Yeah, here's a pretend hair. Ha ha ha. Oh, second base with Madonna. Oh, Robin, would you fuck her? Kiss me. Fuck this person. Like, what is this? This is not.
It was a potpourri of shit. I remember I said earlier on when we were recording this that the old Dean Martin roast used to edit. They gave the first video they gave you back in the day, which I stopped at one. I didn't get the next, the Carol O'Connor one or whatever. Now they're all on YouTube. But back in the VHS days, I ordered them. And the best of is really the one you want because it was edited very well. All the really good bits, 5 minutes, 2 minutes of this person, literally 30 seconds of this person because the person was up there 10 minutes and they sucked. This is the reverse. If you had any funny shit, you edited it out and all you left was the outtakes. That's what this looks like. That's my analogy.
That's exactly right.
Right.
I have a ton of DVDs like that for Carson that I collected.
Right.
I love it.
A lot of it hits, some of it doesn't, obviously. Some things are incredibly dated, but the funny stuff should work. I've yet to have a proper laugh from this, from the content, from being funny,
Oh, I'm sweating to death. This is so bad.
Richard Pryor gave you your first break and he's here.
Let's get a third shot of Richard Pryor.
Very nice. That's really good.
Oh my God.
Sandra's just embarrassed. Look at her face. Look at her fucking face. I
Oh
can't
my
believe I'm taking
goodness.
part of unfunny shit.
It's a neighbor's Halloween decoration, and I am more impressed with that. trick or treat. Oh, the dummy's moving on the porch. Woo!
And so
I've seen better
Animation.
skeletons.
It's not even the best skeleton. Well, 3 years later, as I said, he's doing that infomercial mockery with the mock infomercial with the plugging the Miss America, and he goes to that fucking skeleton well yet again. 3 years later, not knowing it was not funny 3 years earlier.
All right, come on. We're wrapping this
We're
one up.
wrapping
We got to
it
move
up.
along.
Come
Go
on,
ahead.
that's-
Thank you, Sandra. Say
Thank
something.
you.
We're wrapping this up. Move it along. You just
Just
kiss Robin.
You just hijacked her bit, whatever she was planning to do, which maybe it was nothing.
Kiss Robin for me. Kiss Robin on the lips. Yeah.
sit down.
Yeah. Kiss her. Kiss her. Kiss her. Tongue her. Tongue her. Tongue her. Tongue her.
Go ahead, Sam. I was trying to get as much in before we could finish this faster. Go ahead.
This is an awful...
I wish I could show you Sam's face. I wish you could get the visual. Sam's shell shocked.
This is an awful, awful middle school party where you're like playing spin the bottle and everyone's like, "Yes, sir, don't do it." Like, it's so. Could you look at that? I got to take a screenshot of this now. Look at his tongue's out, looking fruity as ever. You have Robin looking absolutely like a hysterical Grace Jones. And then you have, I don't know, Sandra Bernhardt trying to be like an 80s Jewy Grace Kelly. I'm not sure what the look is there.
Go. Whoa.
Oh,
Now-
God, Wolf, just fucking kill me. Kill
Yeah.
me, please. Why?
Yeah, kiss
Why?
Yeah.
Yeah, these visuals are.
And she's in
I
a
feel like Nancy Kerrigan right now. Why?
And this particular thing was so unnoteworthy that he only took a screenshot of Richard and I think a screenshot of Sandra kissing Richard or something, or hugging Sandra in his private parts book, and that's how little they thought of this.
Come on.
They still are making these girls sit on the floor.
Of course.
Hey, Allison, you kiss Sandra on the lips. Oh, man. Hey, Richard, come here. Richard, come here. Now.
Someone also, it was ages ago, I asked this on YouTube, my old channel, and I go, I really don't understand why they thought any of this was going to be noteworthy and why it got successful. Like some of the pay-per-views made shitloads of money. And one guy explained it very succinctly. He said, we were so desperate to see him because he wasn't always on our networks, whatever, wherever we lived, that we were willing to pay for anything. Hence, Butt Bongo Fiesta, why it sold copies, why people paid for, the open source stuff like that. But when you got it, let's say you're burnt once, why would you ever fucking go to the well again? Why would you? I think all of this horrific unfunniness really contributed to why the movie Private Parts sucked, because they were burned by so much product already.
I understand what you're saying, where you just want to see them because they were just on radio and celebrities didn't have social media. There wasn't that much access as there is now. But once you saw this, you're right. Why would you ever go back to this well?
No. It's astoundingly awful. Sorry, guys. I hate to keep.
I'm trying to think of what it reminds me of, that like friends of mine or something that was suggested to me to watch that's funny, and thinking it's awful. I wouldn't try it again or with the same people. I don't get it.
Our recent episode of Radio Karate, which I'll shamelessly plug, you can find it on Podbean and our YouTube channel, Radio Karate Podcast. But we talked about Two Broke Girls. That was a more modern example of something that was supposed to be funny, that was a hit, that was a sitcom that was like, oh, they're cute and they're this and that, and the writing is good, and it's not funny. Like when you watch it, I dare you to laugh. It's that horrific. This is more in line with that. All the elements are supposed to be there, but it's not. It's not anything. It's not succeeding at anything it's trying to do.
No.
Is this a parody? It's a shitty one. Is it a roast? It's a shitty one. Is this just meant to be the making of a roast? Well, that's shitty too. I'm not getting it.
You know what? People used to always tell me like Home Improvement is hilarious. Like friends of mine growing up with. Sure. I hated Home Improvement. I tried it. I did. I really wanted to try it because people liked it so much.
Okay.
I could not enjoy it to save my life. I never thought it was funny.
Well, like different strokes for different folks, but I don't know, and I've said it many times, the worst way, maybe the first time on this podcast, the worst way to get your friends to turn them on to Howard Stern back in the day was to direct them to one of his appearances or one of these shows. Because once you saw him on a fucking late night show, you were left asking, Jesus, that wasn't so good. What happened to the guy that I think is funny on the radio? And these are no different. They're all horrifically unfunny. And it's just now it's in full color. So you can understand why he got more success on radio than any other format.
No, I'm so angry at his success. He deserves none.
Yeah.
You're a man. Ooh, look, here's my wife. Oh, man. Come
Poor
on.
Allison.
Lesbianism. Come up here. Lesbianism. Come up here for a second. Come up here. Come on, honey. Oh, let me see that. Wait, let me put my hand down my pants. Wait a second. Oh, two girls kissing, please. Oh, please, honey. I want to see that for my room.
Whiny fucking king baby.
Oh, please, for me, please.
Yeah.
Poor fucking everyone in this room. And look at Robin in the back overdoing it. You know, are you sure she wasn't the bug-eyed one in the beginning of this video? I mean,
you'd have to go back and get a visual of that.
Based on this craziness.
Come on, do it. Inductor. Yeah, inductor. Inductor.
Oh,
You can see that tongue out of that spit.
No, I'm sorry. All right, I really am sorry.
Too much spit.
Inductor.
If I'm not mistaken, that might have been Don Buchwald at that table. I'll have to look at that again.
All right, Richard Simmons. Wait, Richard, you're a man. Now show us how to handle.
The bald guy.
Come here. Allison, sit down.
You're a man.
He's just right.
I would
No,
love to have
right
my
there.
wife in bed with. Go ahead. Wait, say something, Richard. Say something cool. Say it. You don't even know how.
This is three gay people.
Shut the fuck. Seriously, his nose right now looks like a geometry isosceles triangle. It is fucking awful. Like right now, it's perfect. Like I can picture my math book in high school and seeing that triangle. It's just so awful.
To me, it looks like the rear wings of one of the old Batmobiles from the 1960s show, like from one of the old Thunderbird, the ends of them. When he did get that nose job, I wholeheartedly supported it because that nose, there was no saving it, but he tried to shave off the hook.
It's a shark fin.
Yeah.
I told you you're too feminine to handle this. Go ahead.
Shut up. Okay, can you stop? Pause. Wait, go back. I need to. Okay, thank you.
Is that good enough?
Thank you. Oh, for Christ!
I'll save that one.
This is just. This is what. If you want anything about what this roast is, just this picture alone.
You should have advertised this.
Get tongue in.
What was that? It's just a fucking shit show train wreck.
Yeah! That was hot. How was that? Was that good?
That was hot? You watched a gay man kiss a gay woman, a lesbian, and that's hot? Why? Anybody?
Sticking out. You look like you just took a rail of meth and you're screaming like it's a death metal concert watching Richard Simmons get Sandra Bernhard in a fucking dress like an accountant going out to the Oscars. I mean, this is insane.
He's jumping around like he just felt tit for the first time ever. Or that scene in 16 Candles when he gets Molly Ringwald's panties and he shows them to all the kids in the class and they're all, oh, I don't understand this. What the fuck?
You're a married father of two.
Well, yeah, this time too, I think, right?
Yeah.
I would most probably like to take her out.
Check Richard's boner, Allison, see if there is one. I'm telling you, you're changing, man. You're all changing. It's beautiful. Sandra Bernhard, everyone. Yeah.
This is a roast, guys.
Yeah.
Wow. She always kills. Come on.
Watch the
If
Howard
I were Allison,
on Friday night at midnight.
If you were Allison.
if I were Allison, I would have divorced him just based on this comedy. I'd been like, I'm way too embarrassed.
I don't know.
This is your act.
I might have been with if someone
I would have
asked
fucking
me
hooked up with Henny Youngman at this point.
if somebody would ask me as Allison at this point, what does your husband do? I would have to honestly say, I don't know. I really don't know. Money comes in, we spend it, and he does something, but I'm not sure what he does.
Yeah, I would have treated him like he works for the CIA, and I don't even know who he is.
Who?
Now back to the Howard Stern roast.
I mean, this new character of yours, the way you were tonguing Sandra Bernhard, have you ever done that before?
Jesus fucking Christ. I'm lost, guys. I'm lost for words. I'm as lost for words as Richard is in this fucking still right here.
Oh, Fillmore, did you ever make out with someone?
That scene. Think of the Kurgan at the end of in the Highlander when he's in the church going, I have something to say. That's the same exact look, and I think I did a Photoshop of him.
Are you in shock?
I'm going to take her out.
Are you really?
I'm going to make her my woman.
I'm going to tell you something. I don't know what's in your drink tonight, but whatever is in your drink, they should put it in every glass in Greenwich Village.
Yeah, because you're a year away from me announcing the cure to homosexuality in my first book.
Get ready, guys.
Get ready, yeah.
I'm curing back pain and
well, that's Miss America, but his theories on homosexuality was that the cure was my mistake 3 years later.
Keep drinking it.
Scrapple. Very good, Steve. It's Snapple, not Scrapple. Big dope. Scrapple. You're unbelievable. You're so with the program. You're so contemporary.
And what the fuck is Steve Rossi doing on there for anything? He was anybody asking, he was in the Fox pilot as well. But here he's got nothing to do. He's just filling up this fucking stage for no reason. Sam?
And this seems like a program that a guy with OCD heavily suffers from would put together.
Yeah, a little.
This seems to be, really the product of it seems like a product of somebody who pays attention to detail and obsesses over things.
If this is like the K-car of roasts, guys.
Sometimes you can't say Snapple. He says Scrapple. Richard, I got to say, that was mind-blowing.
Yes,
it really was.
I really am believing now that you're changing.
Yeah.
At first I thought it was an act.
Yeah.
And this is the guy that, I don't know, 11 years later, bitched at Scott Einziger, why didn't you come to me with your show ideas? Why didn't you come to me? Because this is what happens when you're in charge, Howard. This fucking shit show goes on. This is beyond me. This is like, I was thinking, if this was amateur level, you could sort of get away with it, right? It's still not funny, but at least no one's paid money. It's all in their own nickel. No one's given them money to do this. But this is a show that was given money to produce. They were given money to make sure do whatever they could with it, and this is what they came up with.
Right.
Do you think that millions?
Yeah.
If you think that millions would have improved this, Sam, do you think that if they had any kind of money and any kind of budget for real, that this would have been any better?
No, because we got what happens when you throw millions. You get the birthday show. It's the same thing. A bunch of fucking celebrities with no idea what they're doing there and no idea what this is, running around with no clear direction and no funny. Surprise!
And remember, folks, this isn't his first attempt at a show. He tried with the Fox pilots. He obviously didn't learn from those. That's what we're going to do a walkthrough of that first one at one point.
Oh, great.
I'm warning you in advance.
I was thinking you were very feminine, but you're not. You're very masculine.
Thanks.
Oh, great. We fucking get it. He looks like a man. Shut the fuck up.
A little more masculine and kiss Sandra. That would have turned me on, honey. My wife says to me during the commercial, should I have kissed Sandra?
Oh.
What would have been so bad, man? I mean, loosen up, honey. I got to have more experiences. I'm horny. Go ahead, Robin. I'm sorry.
Let's say hello to a deluded young man who thinks he's a member of the Howard Stern Show writing team.
Oh, this is good.
Here's Mark Burglass.
This guy hasn't written a thing. He hasn't written a thing.
I don't know who this person is. Do you have any recollection of this person?
I don't know.
This guy, let me say something. This guy we hired.
Sound of Music? What's going on?
She says they hired him as a writer. Okay.
What are those, hair stockings? All right.
Get to a microphone.
Well, go ahead, Mark. Aren't you going to say something?
Oh, we're doing
All right, everybody.
this.
All right, that's good.
Mark, they're going to run out of food soon.
Okay.
What?
What the
And
fuck?
give your tribute.
Didn't I see you
This
on?
is planned, obviously, and it's so awful.
It's lame.
I have the worst age.
You make something stick. All right.
Okay, go ahead. Go ahead, say something. You better say something nice.
Oh my God, I'm so embarrassed.
Howard, for giving me a job as a writer.
Okay, so now it's you can't do that on television, folks. It's Nickelodeon now.
Guys, it's Double Dare. We're getting slimed next.
Yeah.
It's fucking Mark Summers. What?
Oh my God.
You know what a hack bit it is to throw tomatoes at comedians?
And then film it and then say this is the bit. This is what Sirius paid $100 million a year for in 2000s. This is what they wanted.
What fucking idiots.
I love how they might have seen this and go, you know what? That's our guy. That's the anchor. That's going to get us more subscriptions in cars.
All right, go ahead. Let him
Go
talk.
on,
Let him
Mark.
talk.
Enough is enough.
Go ahead. Go ahead. Say something nice.
Well,
Get close to the mic.
Get close to the mic.
Jackie with the right idea.
Oh, come on, Mark. Say something.
He's trying to. Fuck off.
Go ahead. Say whatever you came to say.
Just let him do his joke.
Where's the fish?
What do you mean the Jello was heavy?
It was like 50 pounds of Jello.
So soon. Say something.
Say something. Get up. You're dying.
Oh, fuck.
Get to the microphone.
Anyway, Howard, before I started working on this show,
This is just so.
This is I can't even explain the level of hack bullshit unfunny this is, guys. You're seeing it for yourselves. We're not okay, yeah, we're trying to fucking mix it up here. But we didn't create this. We're just commenting on what we see, and this is beyond sophomoric. I couldn't even imagine this when I was 17. Because we were listening to Kinnison and Bill Hicks and Dice at the time, real comics. Where was the funny going to be ever come from for this? You would hope.
I hope this is like Carrie when she gets the pig's blood spilled on her and she just comes and hacks everyone to death. I mean, this is what I hope would happen. If that happened at the end, this would have been all worth it. If we would have gotten that ending.
Yeah. No money in the budget.
All right.
Now, granted, it's getting the biggest laugh, but why? Like, I just don't. I mean, I don't get it. I'm not even laughing with them.
Come here.
Yeah, maybe. Nervous laughter.
Howard, you better things for. Howard, the skellings.
Don't scare. Even Richardson. Come here. Come here.
Metal.
I'm so annoyed with his come here.
All right, say something nice. Walk over here so you don't fall. Go ahead. You gonna cry?
No.
Are you crying?
No.
You just killed. You just killed.
My heart's gonna stop.
Here, walk over here. All right, forget it.
He can never get out of his own fucking way fast enough
Stand
to
over
let
there so you
anybody
don't get hit
shine.
by anything. Go
Even
ahead
not
and
that
say
this guy, I'm
something
not
nice.
expecting the next coming of
All
Richard
right, well, we're
Pryor,
not doing it
because
anymore.
Richard's in the table, clearly dead. But he just
Say it from your heart.
no sense of
I just want to
comedic
say
anything.
that before I started working on this show, it was only possible for me to be humiliated.
Now look at Bowie telegraphing. He's looking for it to come down again, whatever's left.
The most, but now I can be completely humiliated in front of the whole country. So Howard, thank you very much.
Oh, that's nothing. You have to clean up.
That shows you Bowie didn't know what was happening any more than anybody else did. Bowie was looking for something up in the rafters, like what else is going to fall on him? Because he was a little close to Bowie. Maybe it was going to get on him. But that just goes to show you there was no pre-planning left. Like it was not left for any kind of rehearsal. They literally said, go in. Howard knew what was going to happen, sort of, kind of. Like building a house with a sketch drawing. Like that's your architecture. Like one little sketch, like a 5-minute sketch, and there's your blueprint. That's how they approach this fucking thing.
Guys, Nickelodeon sliming on kids shows, I laughed harder at.
Yeah. When you were 10.
When I was a kid
Yeah.
watching it.
Right. So this is the level.
You want to kiss Richard Simmons? Go ahead.
Now Henny's already gone.
Howard suffers from small penis syndrome. Now the person who actually does the suffering, Howard's very frustrated wife, Allison.
That makes many of us Allison.
We feel your pain, sweetie. And by the way, you look awesome.
She
Better
does
than
look
Beth
incredible.
ever has on her fake modeling life.
Right. We're looking at a 40, maybe late 30s Allison. She looks better than 20s Beth. Easily.
Another baby, so I can stare all fattened up and everything. I'm not interested in that.
Temporarily.
All right, go ahead. You make your speech.
I'm truly thrilled to be here tonight.
Oh.
You know, almost every day Howard says I've had an accident or I'm on my deathbed dying and acting like he's hoping to get a date. Obviously, I'm alive and well, and I really love him. But if he took a little care of a few personal hygiene items, he might not have to complain much about his lack of sex. I mean, he's really deteriorating. First of all, on weekends, he's no longer showering or shaving. Ugh. It's really hard to get near
Oh, like
him.
that's gross.
On top of that, he's constantly passing gas all the time. He has been promising, really, to get me a gas mask for my next anniversary. But things are getting so bad so fast, I couldn't wait till June, so I took matters into my own hands.
Oh, what is that? Look at that. Yeah.
Now, Howard, I can still love you.
Okay.
Very beautiful. Like you smell like...
Number 15 in a fucking
And he
series
can't even
of
let that
shitty
go
eggs.
by.
No,
He
not
can't
at
even
all.
let that dumb hack read off the prompter go by. He has to hammer his wife some more because it wasn't bad enough. He came in with a bunch of boob jobs, twacked and molested right in front of her, forced her to kiss lesbian Sandra Bernhardt and everything else in between, and also put her through this awful show.
Yeah,
I
and keep in
hope
mind,
she
everybody.
fucked whatever guy she married next so hard behind his back for years.
You're definitely on Team Allison, are you?
Oh, God, who wouldn't be? Who would want to be on this team? Look at this.
Well, you notice also empty chair behind him. That was where Richard was sitting. He's long gone. He's probably like fed the fuck up. And then Allison's chair, of course, obviously empty. But they don't think to fill it up. They don't think, let's put someone in those seats now.
The Rose. I've smelled you, too. She passes gas just like me.
Oh, come on.
Believe me. I need the gas mask just as much as her.
She can't.
So now-
he can't
so now
even
he's-
let it go.
No, and he's pissed. He's clearly pissed. He's being fucked on even the slightest bit. That's why he could never be at a roast. He has attended roasts, but he can't actually be the subject of a roast. And that's why you never saw him get roasted. It was Artie, Ronnie, Ralph, Bowie, Daniel Carver, and I can't remember who else on Sirius when they finally started doing these. But he couldn't take being the target. And I love Nick DiPaolo just took the time during the Artie roast to fucking attack him and Robin completely and left Artie alone almost completely. I love
It was
that.
great. Yeah.
Yeah,
I love
absolutely.
Colin Quinn did a good job too.
The one about he goes, enough about the FCC. What is it bad enough to hear we have to sit you're oppressed while you're sitting here analyzing Taylor Hicks living for the city, you faggot. It was Nick DiPaolo, I think he said, he goes, what is he say? What is he said? Anytime I can work for a billionaire for nothing, count me fucking in.
I smell you. Get up. Everyone's talking. I can't believe it.
Now
What?
that
What is that,
everyone
Pat?
has had their say,
I go to the podium?
it's time to honor our...
I go to the podium and I'm the announcer.
Howard Stern.
He kissed her like he lost a bet. And then he's sitting in his chair. He's such a fucking uncomfortable shit.
Yeah, I love this so much. Oh, now we get to hear from the man that's being honored, Howard. He's been running around this whole set.
He's been so silent, you can finally hear him.
What? I'm not saying anything about any of you.
All right.
That was no kind of tribute. I have no speech
Tribute.
for any of you.
What tribute?
Tribute. See, he doesn't. I guarantee you, he said this was a roast, and he goes, "Fuck this last minute. It's gonna be a tribute. God damn it!
Yeah.
Pull whatever homeless you can come in."
you'd be working. I said, look around the room. Think about it. You all should be very happy with yourself. Jackie, the joke man, you better stick to writing for me.
I know I need you, man. I need you.
Painfully obvious. Fred, you're really great. You're a great superstar. You really are. Every time we do a tribute, he does a rock song. It's really great.
So that's all
God,
Howard
you
had to say.
gotta be kidding. You
Yeah, we're gonna
gotta
get
be
Fred
kidding
singing the song parody, but that's what Howard had. Not even 30 seconds on his own up there.
Fillmore, you buried me.
It's a deluge of unfunny.
You shot me in all places that I can't bleed out from, left me in a coffin, put the dirt on it, but still left a little oxygen in there through a hole or something so I could suffer through just a little more and put this.
All right, hold on. Now this is whatever budget they had. You didn't laugh except accidentally or how bad some things were. Okay, this had a budget of $100,000 for the episode. That's according to the Colford book. Private Parts has a $28 million budget. Did you laugh more then?
That's such a great point.
And it had 90 minutes, like 100 minutes worth to crowbar laughs in. Did you laugh
You know
more?
what? I'm doing
thinking.
an episode where I'm picking and I'm going to torture. I'm going to torture you. I can't wait. I'm going to be the MC of torture one night. I promise. I'm getting you back for this.
Are you going to put me through the Robert Plant interview?
Oh, you're going to be palm sweaty.
I'll be reaching for mail-ox or something.
Do you believe this boy is a major star? He's got poodle's hair and a nose like a cigar. This rat bastard gives us all such crap. He's a big ugly dope with a big fat yap. He makes a monster paycheck for the things he said, but he should do this TV show with a bag on his head. Why are you such a moron? The way you
Actually, I'm enjoying this. Can we please cut? Wait, time out.
What?
We need to isolate this clip. I'm hearing an intro to our next show here. This is amazing.
Well, as song
This is like
parodies go.
a nice sitcom.
You think it's your move, the alternate theme? I mean, if you're talking shit 80s sitcoms or early 90s sitcoms, you're right. This has this bit of the feeling of like a discarded sitcom, an idea that was pitched, and this is the pilot, and the people laughed at them. They threw it at them, and they said, "Get the fuck out! I don't even want to hear from you again." This was pitched, and this was delivered. No one asked for it.
Fred, though. I am.
Well, you're a big
If this is the best part, we're in trouble.
10 long years I've had to stare at that face. I feel for your wife who puts up with it all. If it wasn't for your hand, you'd get no sex at all. Yeah.
Oh. Hairpieces, look of love.
You really are a sick man. And a no shop quick man.
Very nice. Yeah.
Oh, you know what? That was even. Wait, can we go back over that one more time? I'm not. We can cut it out, but I'm really loving that Fred was like, "Here's my chance," and he just smashed him with that song. Can we do that one more time, please?
Okay, well let me get close to the end. Right. Okay.
Fred.
He makes a monster paycheck for the things he said, but he should do this TV show with a bag on his head.
Anger.
The way you
Well, he's going for
yell,
it.
you'd be more at home in a padded cell. You're a big jerk. You're a basket case. And for 10
Right,
long
Chief.
years, I've had to stare at that face.
Hold on. Let me go back there just for a second. Let's go back. That said, writing team, Howard, Jackie, and that Mark, what's his name? That fucking idiot that had shit dropped on him. Hold on there.
Ralph Cirillo, you blew past. He was in the credits. You got to go back up.
Right there. That was it. Do I have to
What?
slow that down? Right there. It just said.
But what did he
goes
do?
It goes so quickly.
Do this TV show with a bag on his head. Why are you such a moron?
Howard Stern's character and character makeup. What character makeup?
So blowing on the set, Ralph Cirilla.
I guess so. And then you're looking through the stuff. Okay, so makeup. Okay, Alicia Olsen.
Belly shaver and poodle hair maker, Ralph Cirilla.
Dan Foreman, of course, we know that name from
Big jerk, you're a basket.
head writer Jackie Martling, writing team Howard Stern, Fred Norris, Mark Burglass. I have to look that name up because I don't remember it at all. That was that little fucking twink that just got all the stuff dumped on him. But like I would ask to be what's it called when in show business they have you can have a pseudonym, Alan Smithy. You can use a pseudonym when you don't want to be associated with a film, but you wrote on it, so you give yourself that pseudonym. And the Writers Guild, they have no choice. They allow for that because you're so embarrassed by it.
I mean, I would not put my name near any of this toxic waste, but I want to go back into the archives and listen or see what clips I can find tonight on this Mark Burglass, because I feel like maybe we would remember it if we went back.
He looks familiar, like he was in some shitty sitcom, like Ahead of the Class or something like that. I just don't recall, but he looks familiar. You're right. There's something about that guy that I don't know if I've seen him in something else or if he was like a character actor, just made the rounds and stuff. I'm not sure. But either way, it's fascinating. So closing thoughts before we taper this thing off. And apologize to our listeners. But, it was either this or ropey loads, guys. So you take your pick. We can go through the deep dives, or we can listen to Insane Faggotry from 2020.
Listen, we wanted to do something quick and painful, so that's like ripping a Band-Aid off. We just got to do it.
I believe in other words.
You know what? This also
YouTube.
brings this back into the zeitgeist of how awful it is, which, like I said, I think a lot of people forgot. I know I certainly did, because I'm horrified.
Well, the thing that makes me laugh at it is the fact that you had network shows. These things, the shows like this, were designed for specific markets. Okay, fine. It's like cable programming, a local cable company program.
In a market for this.
But I'm saying, who are you marketing this to? Who's your demographic?
I think it's the Black community. They really would appreciate this one.
Who's your fucking demographic? The bedridden? Seniors homes. You can just see seniors homes shutting it off. In Secaucus. It was a Jersey channel. It was in New Jersey. I think that's the credit. I'd have to read more about this, but my God. Anyway.
Oh God. Could you picture Henny Youngman after this, like friggin' chain smoking and swearing? Like, what the fuck was this?
He's actually going to the Friars Club for a free steak dinner with his membership just to get to wash away the stank of this unfunniness. Anyway, guys, I apologize because I suggested this. So in the future, I think Sam will definitely get the next walkthrough. We're going to be doing a couple more like this, but not specifically from the E! Show necessarily. So right now there's this, and then we're recording rather, in a couple days, a special fashion-oriented show that we know is going to be a lot funnier. But this one was something I definitely wanted to get across in case people didn't want to put themselves through watching it. Maybe we made it easier for you to, maybe it was more palatable by listening to us.
Or, it wasn't us. Or it wasn't, and then you could just still resent him for even making any money after this. Who would continue to give this guy a career after this? Do you believe in magic?
Oh my Lord. Yeah, and song parody, there had to be one in there. But do you figure that's okay? So Fred helped with writing some of the quote unquote jokes. I don't know what he wrote. People just seem to go in off the cuff, except for Pat Cooper and Henny Youngman. But then the whole idea that he had a writing staff, like head writer Jackie Martling. What exactly would Jackie have written of this shit show?
Listen, they really included every hack bit you could think of. Throwing tomatoes, things falling from the ceiling, direct insults about age, having a friggin' skeleton prop, jumping up and down and running around being confused. Any hack, or any hack comedy thing was thrown into this.
I would hazard to say that Jackie's contribution was whatever jokes that he didn't land, and that initial bit where they show the Harlem residence and Howard's upbringing. I'm sure that's the extent. Anybody wants to differ, beg to differ, by all means. Anyway, I'll try to put this together as soon as possible, folks. Hope you enjoyed it, and we'll be back again with another episode in a few days' time. So, from Quite Frankly, please join us. By the way, our Facebook group is Quite Frankly a Howard Stern podcast. We're on Twitter at Fillmore Fingers and at Sammy Therese. Exactly how that sounds. And check us out on Podbean. We've got our pod. You can get the app. We think you'll enjoy it. And for those of you who don't want to suffer through the video, we will be making an audio version of this for Podbean. So,
and for those of you who don't want to suffer through the show anymore, we have a great morning mockery, which our fans just wonderfully do for us, and we appreciate that on our Facebook. So follow along.
That's right. Props to Raven and props to Josie and props to Cindy and everybody who follows along. So from myself, Fillmore, and from Sam, this is farewell.
See ya.
Take care, guys.
Bye.
Oh, just real quick, I was also calling because I just wanted to say my tour starts on the 17th of June.
Thanks, Eric. All right, buddy.
Eric, what? I couldn't hear you. What did you say?
I said the tour that I'm
Take care, man. Don't ever call back.
Let me hear, Eric, please.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.